Hello and welcome to One-on-One Shots with B. Dave Walters. And today we are joined by hailing from parts unknown WWE superstar Ember Moon.
That's me. That's me. I was trying to figure out some cool 1v1 logo I could do with my hands, and this is kind of like the best I can get, which is just a V. Maybe we get some horns on the outside there. I don't know. It's a thing.
You know, it all counts though. It all counts. You get full credit for that, you know? Hey, well, hey, first of all, you succeeded. You succeeded. Now, for those of you that have been watching this show for a while, also thank you. Welcome back. You know, one of the things that I say at the beginning of every episode is I invite fascinating people to come on here with me. And of course, we're sitting around talking ahead of the show and they start saying fascinating things. And I have to be like, wait, stop being interesting until we're recording. Jake always laughs at me, but it happens every single week. And I will say up front, I think I had to tell you stop being interesting more times than anyone else ahead of this show. So first thing, yes. So let's. I have a checklist of the stories that you were trying to tell me that I had to hit pause on. First thing, the cats.
Okay. What do you want to know about my cats? Now I'm going to make it hard for you now.
So my cats are Anakin and Maleficent. My Bombays. They're my babies.
Nice.
And we were talking about their war on cords. Yeah. Especially white cords. They will go out of their way to decimate white cords. Like they'll kind of chew on black ones. They will bite white cords into multiple pieces. Like we'll find white cord shrapnel.
It's probably because they can see it. It's probably more easier to see. God, that was just a terrible phrasing of diction.
You know, hey, you're from Texas. I'm from Arkansas. We're not even supposed to be here.
To see fold the cats.
You know, I'm like, we already beat the odds, man. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not even supposed to be here, literally. Yeah. Yes, and you started telling me about your fur babies. First of all, I'm going to bust you out. One of them is named Azula. I'm on Azula's side. Azula's writing everything. The rest of you need to. Azula was the true heir of the Fire Nation. Therefore, your cat is the true ruler of your household.
So Azula, I got from Bray Wyatt. They had found a cat on the road, and that cat that they found had kittens, and Azula was the last kitten. She's actually banging on the door right now.
She's like, I heard you were talking shit.
She's like, you talking about me?
Yeah, she's like, do, say it to my face.
Yeah. So there's a reason why I'm up here sweating it out because my fur babies just love to be in every room that I'm in. But Azula, there's something a little off about her. Just like Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is one of my favorite. I don't even know if I should call it an anime, but I feel like it is to me an anime. It was great, but it's not in truth an anime. I get it. But
I've had this debate with people. I'm like, yes, it was made in America and therefore it's not anime. Yeah. But in terms of cinematic, high quality animation, you put it up against anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a blurred lines with it. But Azula is my favorite villain ever. And so I named my cat after her, not realizing that my cat is just as crazy as the character. She riles herself up. She plays with the darkness. She tears up everything. And most of all, she doesn't know how to meow. It's just I was like, oh gosh, it sounds like a small child screaming at all times. There's no meow. That's the best we get. And then I have Buppy, the puppy slayer, who actually replaced the dog Gambit that we had. Long story. I'm going to abbreviate it because it really is long. We had a dog. We saved him from the pound. They were going to put him down. So we were like, nope, you coming home with us. Well, he had submissive peeing disorder, which if you don't know what that is, it's that anytime a dog considers you an alpha, it basically just submissively pees itself. And so this particular dog did not pee on all fours or hike up the leg. He rolled over, showed his belly, and he flooded the gates on himself.
Oh, that's tough.
That's tough. And so for 3 months we were just fighting with this and it wasn't getting any better. And so we actually I found a no-kill shelter and I was like, we just can't do it because we were in a 1-bedroom apartment at the time. And I actually ended up finding him a home with a lady that dealt with abused animals at the dog park right next to the pound. It was just fate. And then I went and picked up Buppy.
I was about to say that boy needs to be outside somewhere, like on a farm or something.
Yeah,
right.
But it didn't matter. He loved to go and play, and I took him to the dog park 3 times a week. It was crazy. And so that same day that I had given him away to this lovely lady, I picked up Buppy, the puppy slayer, because she replaced the dog. And then Winter, we found her on the side of the street when she was maybe 3 months old. We had to hand feed her and stuff. When we found her in the Texas heat of 110. And so I brought her in, gave her food and water, and then she just fell asleep. And I go, I'm keeping her. And yeah. So I have nerdy cat names for all my fur babies.
I'm just going to say one thing because I realize we will take up all of our time with this. First of all, Azula was not crazy. Azula was passionate. The cheese started sliding off her cracker a little bit near the end. I recognize she'd been through a lot. She'd had a rough summer. She had a rough summer, but
she had a rough 3 books.
She had held it in. She was being strong for everybody else, and she is allowed. She is allowed to. I don't want to. The only reason I'm being vague is because now that Avatar's back on Netflix, a whole generation of people are seeing it for the first time.
Started again. It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So that's why I'm being vague. I will say it was a debate to the very last second between who my favorite character was, Toph or Azula. And Azula was in the end. Azula was leading until the very end, and Toph edged her. Last second, edged her. Yeah. So it was Toph by nose.
Nah. All right.
I love Toph. First of all, Toph's the wrestling champion. Come on. Toph beat the boulder.
I just like Toph. And mind you, when I watched Avatar, I was not wrestling then by any, So yeah, but I didn't like Toph at all. I thought that she was too much of a character stereotype.
You know what? Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. First of all,
what?
I'm gonna need you to put some respect on Toph Beifong's name. That's the first thing. Second of all, I would say when you finish the rewatch this time, I would like to discuss it. I would be interested to see if you see her differently when you watch it this time.
Yeah.
No, you know what? This is zone of safety. You're allowed to have bad taste. It's fine. I'm interested. I'm just interested in knowing, and this is the guy.
Earrings on. You're in trouble right now.
This is. You're not gonna start clapping, are you? Yeah.
Put some respect on that name. All right.
So, but really, and this is the God's honest truth. I'm interested to see if she seems different this time. If you get to the end of it again and you're like, no, she still didn't do it for me, that's fine. But I'd be interested to see.
I still think I'm gonna be so gung ho Azula that it's not gonna matter.
No, just don't get me wrong. I got mad love for Azula.
Watching where, everyone Katara, that, everyone's like, oh my God, I want to be a waterbender. And I'm watching it. I'm like, why is she babysitting everyone? No one asked.
I'm crying constantly.
This. I'm 2 episodes in and I was like, why was I on that bandwagon at one point in time?
No, the Ember Island Players episode really nailed her when she's like, I'm not like that. How they portrayed her in the Ember Island is you are, though. You are. Well, I had a different relationship with that show because I was already studying Tai Chi and Bagua in Northern Shaolin by then. So the styles they were using or bending or martial arts, I know. So I was just nerding out about all of that. Although I realized I've skipped an important step in the process of us talking and you being fascinating. Who are you and where might people know you from? That's usually the first thing. Now we're a ways in here. No, I did it.
The show, you literally just were like, "Hey, man, this WWE superstar,
right?
Ember Moon." That's very much so it.
Right.
I murder my body for the amusement of others, and while also amusing myself in the process. I won't say murder my body, but I have done that too. But yeah, I am
risk. You risk. Yeah.
Risk. Nah, that's not quite accurate. No. I like saying murdering my body for other people's enjoyment because that's what we do. Even though what we do is scripted, it's like an athletic soap opera, but you hit your friend as hard as you can. and you say, hit me next. Like that's
right.
There's no good way to describe it, but like, what we do is scripted. But basically it's a weird version of Cirque du Soleil meets a soap opera meets UFC MMA. It's a whole bundle of chaos.
I was a huge wrestling fan from I'd say about 1998 to 2008. I'm still a fan, but I mean like, like events and
you
the
were
shirts
one of
and
those attitude era.
Oh,
Wagon jumping and you hopped right off. You were like, yeah, I still watch, but you don't know nothing.
The D-Generation X on the tank out in Atlanta, like that was my time. The NWO's Too Sweet, like all that. That was my time. I'm aware. I was too sweet.
You like Kiss Wolf.
I'm aware of what has happened since, but that was definitely my time. And when I was at the height of it, people would always be like, "Well, it's fake, right?" And I would be like, the people on ER aren't doctors, right? Like, I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not that it's fake; it's that it's scripted.
Yes, and so like, mind you, like what we do is very harmful to our bodies. Every time we take a fall, I think someone like rated it as a 30-mile-per-hour car accident, like taking just a head-on collision every time like you fall on the mat and stuff, which they teach you how to fall properly and stuff as well. But like it's all the best parts of everything that I've ever wanted to do with my life thrown into one place, which the only thing I've ever wanted to do was be a wrestler in life, which I did it, so yeah, it's a pretty chaotic like atmosphere, and I absolutely love it. Like I never wanted to go into a job and say, man, like I hate this, or man, this is the same thing every day. Like I walk into work and I'm like, I don't know what's happening today. What's happening? And then like you can even be told what's happening, and then they'll rewrite everything, and you just have to adjust on the fly. And there's no better feeling.
I will say, for all the things I've done, I've been a lot of places, I've been a lot of live events, and I have never experienced anything like a WWE live event. Like when Stone Cold's music would hit or The Rock's music would hit, you hear that and 15,000 people go crazy at once. That many people all being on the exact same page and so happy all at once. Like there's literally nothing like it. Like if you can get to a live show, once we start having live shows again, go to a WWE show.
So like it's really cool too, because like I've been a part of like a few of those moments, and like one was like when I debuted on Raw, because I remember sitting in what we call the gorilla position, or it's like the backstage area. It's the last position before you walk outside, and I was like, I don't know if these people are going to know who I am. Mind you, I was NXT champion. I've been the Rumble. I've done a lot of things with my career in WWE at that time. And I was like, I don't know. And then like when they like hit my music, like the lights went out and just that place erupted. And I was like, this is like for the first like moment, I think in WWE, I broke character, which I never do. I haven't even done that on the independent scene. I broke character and just enjoyed that moment. And I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. I worked hard to be here. It was so great. But,
it's like, and then main face. Yeah. Well, it is amazing though, because one, I think people that are not fans of the sport, and it is a sports entertainment, but it is a sport. It's as athletic as anything. I think one, people don't realize how hard it is to do. And they also don't realize how hard it is to even get there. Like from the moment you were like, I'm serious about being a wrestler, not like I'm a little girl and I want to do it. From the day that you're like, nah, I'm putting on tights, I'm gonna make this happen, to that moment that you stepped onto the stage on Raw was how much time?
So which is crazy that you say it, not when you were a little girl, but when I was 11 years old, that's when I decided I was going to be a professional wrestler. Like, and literally from that moment on, like I catered my entire life, like where I was going to go to college. Like I had to get good grades or get a soccer scholarship or a cheerleading scholarship to get to University of Kentucky, because at that time, that's where WWE was. Like I changed my entire life at that young of an age because I was so, and I tell people this all the time, and like it's kind of an afterthought, that I was so maliciously bullied that I wanted the opportunity to be able to speak my mind and not have to deal with the consequences, but be able to defend my opinion. you know, and like the only thing that kept me going for that dream was watching Monday Night Raw, was watching Friday Night SmackDown, and then Saturday Night Velocity and Sunday Night Heat.
Oh, if you were watching Heat, you about that life.
Because I think it was Thursday Night SmackDown at that time. You know, like that was
SmackDown was Thursdays. Yeah, still in USA during back then, wasn't it?
And so that's what kept me going. Like, and you know, I catered my entire life toward that. And so from 11 or 12 up until 5 years ago, when I got signed with WWE. Like, so that's like a long time. Like, that's like most of my life, pretty much 20 years, you know, 20 something years for that. And I'm one of the few that can actually say, hey, guys, I went through 4 tryouts. It took me from the moment I started wrestling to the moment I got signed, that was 10 years, like almost 10 years. Right. And that doesn't include like all the stuff I was doing before then, like trying to take theater classes and stuff like that to be well-rounded in the sport as well. So
I think people greatly underestimate that, because I've said many times, like as a person, like I'm a believer as a person, you know what I mean? Like I believe like all sorts of weird stuff, you know, ghosts, UFOs, like I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever. But there's two things I know for sure do not exist. The self-made man or woman, everybody has help, and the overnight success.
You know? I never had help. That's the one thing I can safely say. Like, even though I was trained by Booker T, I was trained by Skandar Akbar, you know, I had people that had the ability to get my foot through the door, and they never did that.
But you just said you were trained by Booker T. You know, like I mean,
this is like a common thing that like everyone, including like Wikipedia, gets like screwed up. I was actually trained by Skandar Akbar, and if you know who that is, you are one of those hardcore Texas fans, baby. So I was actually trained by him, and when his school shut down, I actually ended up training with Lance Archer or Lance Hoyt. Or Vance Archer, whatever name he's going by now, he has 2,000 of them. When that school shut down, then I went to Booker's. Booker invited me to come out, do a couple shows and train, where I actually didn't even wrestle on his show for like a year. I actually ended up managing the Usos until they got signed. And then they were like, well, I guess we got to have you wrestle now, you know, but I was driving 6 hours down from Dallas to Houston to train with Booker and drive 6 hours back just to work the first shift at Target and then the second shift at Outback Steakhouse just to make ends meet, you know?
There's a lot to unpack there, but I want to interject one small thing before I do. I met Booker T probably 3 years ago, maybe 3 Comic-Cons ago, maybe 4 Comic-Cons ago, because we were leaving Comic-Con and Conor McGregor was fighting that night. I think it was Conor McGregor, Chad Mendes, I think. But either way, it was a McGregor fight. And so when we were leaving Comic-Con, we stopped at a Buffalo Wild Wings in San Diego to watch the fight. And I walk in and Rob Van Dam and Booker T are standing there. Rob Van Dam is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Back to ECW, back to Rob Van Dam and Sabu, feuding with the Dudley Boys. You know, like I love Rob Van Dam. And so I walk right up to him and I was like, holy, oh man, you were like a legend. It's good to me. Like I was telling you earlier that I don't fanboy. That was the other thing we have to talk about. But I walk up and I'm like, respect, you know, like I respect everything you've done. Huge fan. And Booker T literally goes, what about me? And I was like, oh, he's a legend, but you're a king, Booker. And it so happens my friend that was with me watched wrestling also. And she went, oh, hail King Booker. Right. I heard his feelings. Yeah.
So mind you, like Booker is one of those people that like, since I've been signed with WWE, if I have questions and stuff like that, because this is all a thing that he's done, you know, but I am also a match analysis or whatever you want to call it for WWE Backstage, which is our talk show on FS1. And I come on and speak my opinion about the wrestling world, so to speak. And Booker always finds some kind of way to make himself seem so much more important. And he's like, I got the 2 rings now, girl. Look at it. And I keep telling him I'm going to chop off his hair in the middle. Like when we get back to LA, I'm going to be like, I'm going to chop off your hair and sell it on eBay so I can get on your level. I'm going to buy me one of them rings.
You keep your hand off Booker's hair, you know?
No.
Yeah. Man, again back to Harlem Heat, man. I remember it's amazing to see that where he got to go, you know. I mean, and again, he earned it. So
If you ever get the opportunity just to pick his brain just about life, it is absolutely amazing. Like, which like working with WWE backstage and getting the opportunity with Fox and FS1, like that's just taught me so much about him as a person that I really didn't know when I was going and training with him. Because like he was the teacher, I was the student. Now I'm like a peer, and I'm getting this whole different side of Booker to where like I give him so much grief. I'm sorry, I don't know if we can say bad words on here.
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. I try not to, but sometimes
I appreciate that.
But like, yeah, like I give him so much grief about all the garbage he put me through at training. Like I remember driving 6 hours to go train, 6 hours in Houston traffic. And if you know Houston, you know there is always traffic and it sucks, right? 6 hours to get there. He walks in, someone parked in his parking spot, and it's the only parking spot in the entire facility at that time. And like he walks in, he goes, "Hey, everybody, y'all doing good today?" And like, we're like, "Yeah, Booker, we're good." He goes, "Y'all see Minute Maid Stadium over there? Hit it." And like everyone took off, and I was like, "Where are y'all going?" "Booker's pissed. We got to run to Minute Maid Stadium. 3 miles there and back." And I was like, and I told Booker, so like people just kept pissing him off. And I remember there was one day I had left my house at 6 a.m. I didn't arrive at the school until 4 p.m. Class started at 5. And like Booker was pissed off at something else, and he goes, "Minute Maid." And I just sat there. I go, "I just drove 9 hours in freaking here. I am not running to Minute Maid Stadium. You are going to train me, Booker. Screw you." It was way more vulgar than that because I was young, not afraid of anything at that time. And he was like, "Okay, cool. What you want to work on it?" Everyone else took off to Minute Maid. I was like, "That's right. Slap chest." I ain't running. I ain't doing it no more.
I mean, it all worked out. And again, see, the part of that story, believe it or not, that jumps out at me the most is, again, when you said you had to drive 6 hours and then come back and work 2 jobs, because that's what it took. You know, like people think these things just fall out of the sky, or that you just have to get lucky or just know the right person. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always a luck component. You know, life has a luck component, but it's amazing how luck breaks your direction when you work hard as hell constantly, you know, because you had a vision of what you wanted to accomplish and did what it took to take it. Because think about that. How many people would work 2 jobs, even if after the second job, you know, they had to go next door to train, much less drive some great distance to train and then drive some great distance back?
I would have loved to work next door and train. Like, you know what I mean? Like 10 minutes versus 6 hours. And that was like 6 hours from Dallas to Houston. And it was it was a terrible 6 hours because you didn't even have the Check Stop Bakery on the way. Like at least Austin, you get food places. You know, Houston is just down 45 hell the entire way. Man, like I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, oh God, I hate that drive so much.
But you know what though? That was as much a part of your training as everything that you did physically. You know, just the mental training of the focus and the commitment, because that is what carries over into everything. Being able to hit a move or work a high spot in a match or something, you know, like that may or may not translate, but the personal fortitude that requires.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people like realize like the difference between like WWE and the independent scene. The independent scene is all about the grind and making yourself like worthy because you worked hard, right? And like when you get to WWE and the grind doesn't stop, it's just a different grind. It's a completely different grind. But like I remember being so spoiled at NXT for the sake of like, oh man, when someone was like, "Yeah, you just got to drive 2 hours up the road to Ocala or wherever." And I was like, 2 hours? Girl, get in the car. I got both, you know, versus like me driving from Texas to Kentucky for free just to say, "Hey, I worked at OVW," which I did. That was a humble brag in case you guys didn't get that.
It's true. Well, speaking of, just on the off chance, because a lot of the people that watch this are gaming fans and, you know, and might know you from your D&D stuff. What is NXT relative to WWE for the people that don't know?
So before, when I was at NXT, when I was current, way back then, God, that was like 2-3 years ago. When I was at NXT, it was the developmental brand, but like over the course of like just the evolution of NXT and the amount of talent they're bringing in, like you can't hold NXT back. And they basically made NXT a third brand. So it's equivalent to Raw, equivalent to SmackDown. It's NXT, baby. So it's a lateral move is whereas when you were going from Raw down to NXT, it would be, oh, I got demoted. Now it's like across the board, great. They're on USA now. They're killing it. Like, I love them, but it's like that Raw, like Fight Club scene. It's like what happened. You know, we don't talk about Fight Club, man, but like everyone knows about NXT, and it's great. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, and it is great to see. I'm personally, I'm happy to see enough wrestlers have crossed over into the mainstream. I mean, there always was some of it, all the way back to, you know, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. But I mean, seeing more wrestlers cross over and become mainstream entertainers and the whole sport get more respect, you know?
Like, it's one of those things like in Japan, like what we do, sports entertainment in Japan is such a esteemed profession. Like you see businessmen and lawyers like renting out tuxes just to go to an event, and like slowly but surely, because of the competition, because of just how wrestling or sports entertainment has evolved as a whole, you're seeing more mainstream focus on WWE, on NXT, on Raw, SmackDown, wherever. Not only that, just the community projects itself as well, with us doing stuff with Be a Star campaigns and building shelters for veterans and Play 20 and stuff like that. Like there's so much more that WWE is doing other than the wrestling aspect of stuff. And I think that's a big reason why sports entertainment as a whole, I'm not just talking about WWE, but as a whole has gotten so much bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you worked in Japan? Because I know they work much stiffer in Japan.
No. Not really. It's a dream of mine. It's weird because every time we get to we call them loops, but every time we get to Osaka or Japan, like it's like, oh man, I'm ready to go, and then like something happens that I got to be taken off, or hey, we need you to do this appearance over here, and I'm like, but it's Japan. But then like a part of me is like, ooh, but that 20-hour flight though, I'm not really suffering too much on that 20-hour flight.
Hey, man, you're supposed to be hardcore. You the one that would drive back and forth and work 2 jobs and all that. I mean, that was supposed to be you. I heard you were hardcore.
Here's the thing. If I could drive 2,000 hours to Japan, I would. But as soon as you get a plane involved, there's a whole nother level of me that you have to deal with paranoia and fear. Like,
statistically speaking, it's the safest form of travel.
Statistically speaking.
Yep.
But like in a car accident, there's a chance you might make it out, you know? Like, oh, you got a scrape or a bruise. There's not really a lot of good statistics for when a plane goes down that someone's like, oh man, I just got a scratch. And I'm not being sensitive. I'm just saying I'm afraid of flying.
But you know, it is valid. It is a common fear. It is just it is way more people get killed every single day in cars than on planes.
And here's the thing, and this is probably one of those interesting stories that you never knew. I was actually in a nosedive on a plane. Yeah. So the fact that I continue to fly actually shocks me. So I was flying, God, I would try to do my best not to bash this airline, but I'm very certain that everyone can figure out this airline, right? So basically, I'm the last one on the plane, so I get the middle seat. And if that didn't tell you what airline I'm flying, that probably did. So I get the middle seat, and we're flying to like New Jersey or something. And the pilot comes on and he goes, "Hey guys, we're going to take off early. There's a big storm coming and I think we can make it." My man, what do you mean you think? Those are not words I want to hear on a plane. So like, mind you, it's like 5 p.m. My time, and like it's pitch black outside. That's how bad the storm was. And so we go take off and we're going and we're like, oh man, it's going to be okay. And then lightning strikes the plane. All the lights go off and then it just goes. And mind you, when people are in like life-threatening situations, like you get the whole like, oh my god, I wish I would have done this, or like your life flashes before your eyes. No, that did not happen to me. Guess what happened to me. Guess, I dare you. We're gonna make this interactive. Be Dave.
I'm thinking back the times that I felt when I thought death was imminent. I always felt calm. I felt 100% calm when death was imminent.
Oh, how lucky. Yeah, so I was the one that started the screaming on the plane.
Valid though. Valid.
So it was like a big shake. We start going down, and I look around at everyone else who's obviously calm, and I was like, screw it. And I just started. I was like, you got like, I remember like looking around to everyone and seeing no one else panicking, and I'm like, y'all didn't feel this? Cool, whatever. So we start like going down, and I start like sliding forward. And mind you, I'm in the middle seat, and it's this lovely African American couple that I have now grabbed just by the shirts. Like, I'm just in here right like this, and I'm yelling at them, why isn't my seatbelt working? The entire time, because I'm like falling down like this and stuff. And they're like, we don't know. And they're screaming too. And then like all of a sudden, like it's like a freaking movie. Like the lights shutter on, and then we just shoot up. And I would like to say that was the end of the story. But I'll leave it at this. So once we get to a shaky cruising altitude, the lovely flight attendant comes on. Well, guys, I don't think we have to tell you to keep your seatbelts on. That was the last time I flew that airline.
They should have at least given out free drinks. They're like, drinks for everybody.
They didn't even have free service. That's how bad the flight was. But that same storm was the one that took out Joplin, Mississippi, with that massive tornado. That's that same storm, and I'll never forget that. I was like, that could have been really bad.
Hey, but it didn't take you out. Look at that. So again, hey, statistically speaking, still the safest form of travel. You lived. I'm like, but did you die? I'm like, maybe you have like crippling anxiety about flying for the rest of your life, but did you die? No, I'm messing with you. No, that's valid. I'm sure.
So bad, to the point where like I normally sit next to Alexa Bliss on planes because I freak out. Like, she knows I'm like super best friend, but she knows I'm super paranoid of flying. But I'll wake up with like plane terrors, like like
you got to go full B.A. Baracus. Just take something and just like sleep the whole time, you know.
I try to, and normally I don't really have to take anything to sleep. I just knock out. Like, I force myself to sleep. But there are those flights. They get
Yep. But I can't sleep on planes. Yeah, no, that's wild, and that is very valid. That is a very valid concern to have. You know, but I have a different question, because again, we will talk indefinitely about all the fascinating things. Now you're branching out into Twitch in gaming. So is gaming been something that was a passion the entire time in parallel with wrestling? Is it something you've discovered recently? I mean, recent years or?
So like, some of my early like video game experiences, and I can't even tell you the name of the contraption, but I see it, I'm like, oh, we used to have one of those, but I couldn't tell you the name. The very first game that I ever played was like Frogger, and they gave you like a little number keypad, and then you slid in like the little sheet, and you played Frogger with whatever directions were on that little sheet that you slid in. But like, that was the first video game system I played on. That I loved Duck Hunt and Track on NES. Then we got the SNES, and oh my gosh, Mario Kart became a thing. And like, so video games were always prevalent like in my life since I was a kid. My dad and my uncle used to do like, well, we got an SNES, well, we got a PS1, well, we got a 64, and
it's like an arms race.
Yeah, arms race. And now like everyone's like, well, what do you got? I'm like, I got everything. Like, as you guys can see, I'm in my video game room right now.
You're like hashtag started from the bottom. Yeah.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah. You're like, I choke slammed somebody through a table to pay for this PS4.
I mean, like, But like video games have always been like just in my life.
Can I just insert something here though? The ballerish humble brag of I'm in my video game room. You go head on, girl. You go head on, girl.
MTV Cribs.
You go head on. From working at Target and Outback and driving to having a video game room. You go head on.
I want you to see that bad boy right there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is what date night is in my household, and it's a little messy on this side, but I'll show you.
Mm-hmm. We're going full cribs.
We got the double bean bags.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't game comfortably, you know.
It's true.
Game at the home, you know. But yeah,
I mean,
so
that's where we are now. Yeah,
that's where we are. We home, baby. So yeah, Twitch was just kind of like a natural progression. I originally was going to do Twitch just to do D&D stuff, and then realized like, well, I'm going to play this game anyway. Why not do it in front of other people? And especially with everything that's happened in the past like 6 months, like if it can put a smile on people's faces, why not? Like I actually started like just giving away Amazon gift cards and stuff for groceries as well, just to help people out, you know, because it became, hey, I can't work. Hey, I can't do this. And so I was like, hey guys, just come hang out. Super chill, super laid back. I'll do a free raffle for $100 Amazon gift card or 75 or 50, just whatever I could do to help people out. Because I mean, I have the means to do that. And I've been poor and broke and ate ramen six days a week. You know what I mean? Why can't I do that for someone else?
Yeah, I feel similarly in that there's been times in the not too distant past that if all of this had happened would have been catastrophic. So the fact that it sort of hit when, you know, during a high water mark, it's like I realized just how fortunate I am for that. You know, when they were like, go buy 2 weeks worth of groceries, I could. When there's been plenty of times, I would not have been able to.
20-year-old me would have been screwed. Like I was living on my own by then, and my husband had just moved in with me at that time as well. We had just started dating, and like that's the atmosphere I was in. You know, I was living on ramen noodles because that's what I could afford.
Yeah.
I remember that late fee at Blockbuster crippled me.
Back in the day,
that where you were like, "Oh man, I got the exact amount of money in the bank to pay rent," and Blockbuster was like, "Late fee." I'm like, "But it was only 30 minutes. It was only 30 minutes."
Like, too bad. No. What used to get me was the you go to Walmart and you'd buy like Mountain Dew, right? And it'd be like a $2 charge, but that puts you over, and then you got them overdraft fees. Boom, and you're like everything's wrong now.
Because now they're very nice with their overdraft fees. I remember when I was living on my own, they didn't have such a thing as like, hey, you can't overdraft your account. You can put a block so you never overdraft. It'll just decline. No. That was not a thing when we were growing up. It was like, hey, you can charge it all day long and then $50 every time. You just like,
surprise. Yep. You owe us rent now. Yeah. No, I know all about it. No, I know all about it. But before I forget, I want to make sure we say it outright. What's your Twitch handle? When do you stream? How can they find you?
So I stream sporadically. I'm always working on side projects and stuff. But you can find me at twitch.tv / see, like that, the backslash half dragon EM. My favorite character that I played with was a half dragon, so ode to that. But I said it half dragon. Yeah, because that was the only thing I said as a character. So half dragon EM, not with the W's, but spelled normally. I tried to make it easy for everybody else.
Yes, please holler at her, toss her a follow. Yes, please do. After this, or open another window right now while we're talking.
We'll wait.
It's true. We'll wait. All right.
You hit that follow. After y'all go ahead and sub to you, girl, then we'll give out some more gift cards and stuff, you know. But normally you can catch me Saturdays. I'm normally always streaming on Saturdays with cooking streams. It's called Basic Cooking with Ember. You know, it's where I try to tackle a recipe that I've never made before or something that I like to cook just to show you guys how easy cooking can be. Sometimes I'm cooking in my Brava oven. Shout out to Brava. Thank you for that awesome gift. But sometimes
Real talk, I thought for a second there you were about to say I'm cooking in my bra, and I'm all like, well, I just heard the subs go up 8,000% there. I swear that's where my brain was going. I was like, that's a smooth pitch. You're like, Amazon gift cards that I cook in my bra. I'm like, what a sales pitch. Now how much would you pay to subscribe to WWE Superstar Ember? Brava oven. Completely my fault.
No, it's funny. It's funny. Maybe I will. Not really, because I'm a partner and I can't do those things because I'm, trying to follow the rules and such. But
no feet. Yep. No feet. No nipples. Yep. Mm-hmm.
No feet. No nipples, man. But oh my god.
Honestly, that tells you, because we talk about this all the time. I talk about Jake from QueueTimes, who is here with us. Also, hi Jake. Thanks, Jake from QueueTimes. That it's like it just lets you know apparently how prevalent foot fetishes are. That I'm not here to kink shame. But I mean, that those are the two no's, no nipples and no feet. I'm like, word?
Hey man, look, I just want to let people know that sometimes as a woman, if it's cold, it's just going to happen. It's not my fault. All right. It's not my fault. All right. Because normally someone else has to point out, oh, you need a padded bra on, or I'm doing this number. Just, am I good?
It's true. It's gonna be
that happens, all right. And you men know too. It's involuntary, so
it's gonna be like it is. It's gonna be like it is. So but yes, please, really toss her follow her on Twitch. Help her take over the world and blow up. Because you and I were talking Twitch streaming strategies and stuff beforehand, and I was like, no, we'll talk about it on there. But actually, I realized there's one thing we've yet to do that is very, very salient to the conversation here, which is actually play some D&D.
Oh, yes. I'm ready to win D&D. That's
you're gonna win the game.
I win D&D.
I mean, technically.
Well, so no. See, Dave, B Dave. I feel like I have to say B Dave for.
Yes, because I don't answer to my slave name. Yes.
B
please.
Dave. But Dave. It's like, but Dave. Actually, you know more than anyone that I am one of the best problem solvers. Am I not? Because I did play with you.
You did.
Yes, and I figured it out before everyone else did.
You did figure it out before everyone else did. I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm gonna say I think Perkins gets the credit for having solved that particular problem. But you identified the problem. Yes, you did. You did.
No, I want you to go back and watch the replay of me just going, "Oh, that's your kid," and I literally just go, I walk up to the other cage.
Internet, go. You can watch.
Internet, fact check him.
Please. It was. Yes, we did. The heck was the name of the show? We were just talking about it earlier. That we just did. It was for Treehouse Charities. Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey. Yeah. It was Ember Moon, Jasmine, that bronze girl, Chris Perkins, and Jeremy Crawford. We played D&D together.
They were trying to beat a Tarrasque.
Well, I mean, no spoilers. Let them see how it goes. Let them see how it goes. But yeah. It's
I want everyone to fact check B Dave, but Dave here, and tell him who won his adventure. All right.
I mean, what was the true treasure, not the friends you made along the way?
Hey man, let's be honest. The only thing I didn't win was that dragon ride, and Chris Chris ruined that for me.
he did deny all of us that. But however, you're going to get a second shot at glory because I understand she's coming back today.
Oh, Muvera is coming back. Slap chest.
You are bringing Muvera back today for another adventure with us here. Let me hang on. I'm going to see if I still have my because I've switched computers since then, so I don't think I have those exact notes. Unfortunately, I was going to bust it out like right from where you were before.
So if you want to look it up, I'll tell the cool kids all about Muvera.
Please do.
Muvera is half cow, half minotaur. Yes, she is the fabled minotaur from that labyrinth, but she got killed by some crazy adventurer. I don't really remember a lot from them, but some god brought me back, and here I am, roaming the world, not knowing what my purpose is. I'm an arcane trickster at 20th level, and I love chaos in battle. I mean well, but I'm a little off.
Muvera. You find yourself sailing along the Sword Coast. You have chartered passage on a white sails mercenary vehicle, a two-sailed galleon, making its way up the coast. And you see lots of the crew on board are younger recruits. They've been out to sea for quite some time. They picked you up south, closer to Baldur's Gate, and are heading north along the way. Their uniforms have gotten dingy with dirt and salt water. A few of them bear the marks of battle, but most of them seem fairly fresh-faced and new. And they tend to give you a wide berth. They make sure when it's dinner time, you eat first, and nobody bothers you when you're sleeping.
Oh, that's messed up, man. Muvera's a people person. I don't know if people like her, but you know, like I'm constantly like winking at people, like giving them that like, what up, my man? You need some help with that? I'll help you out, my man. Like
how tall is Muvera?
Muvera's like 7'5". Hold on, let me look.
Yeah. No, she's a big old girl. Yeah.
She's thickums, but you know, every guy likes a gal that's down with the thickness, if you know what I mean.
I mean, can verify, although 7'5" is pushing it, but yes, otherwise can verify.
I'm double checking. I don't remember if I put the height on this one, so I apologize.
I don't know if you did, but she's big. That's for our purposes, she's big.
I go to the best looking guy on the boat. Who would that be?
There is a young half elf who is the first mate of the ship. His name is Rasmir.
I look him up and down, and I lean in, and I give him like a wink. And mind you, like I'm half cow, half minotaur, like where people really get it wrong. Everyone thinks minotaurs have to be half human, but whatever, that's fine. Right. There's not very obviously coming down right here, and I lean in, real like abrasively, but like trying to be sexy. And I go, you want to be down with this thickness? And like the snot just like drips and hits the ground, and I wink.
You know what? Give me persuasion. I'm not even going to make you roll with disadvantage. We don't know what he's into. Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
You know, I'm a solid catch, you know? You might be afraid I can't put my dice out.
That is, yeah, you are not uncharismatic.
Persuasion. Well, that's an 11. That's pretty low for me.
When he's oh yes, I would love to move era, but you see I'm already partnered. That's I don't
you can call me a Namid. That's what my friends call me.
It's Unamid. Unamid, yes. Oh, that's the back of the throat. Yes. No, you are very lovely and powerful. I just my first I've made a commitment. My first love is the sea, and I've made a partnership bond. And I just wanted to say we just wanted to thank you for being on board our vessel here. Your presence has done wonders for morale.
Well, that's fine. Just let the ocean know she could maybe come in too. We can have a nice glass of wine or something. You know, just.
I would love it if you were to join me for dinner tonight in the mess hall in public with everyone else. That would be lovely. Yes.
It's a date.
Yes, it is. Yes, absolutely.
And I go over to like one of the guys, just one of the crew. You owe me 5 copper. He said yes.
You see this gnome wrestles around in his pocket and hands you the 5 copper, and he goes, he was just scared that you were gonna thump his head if he said no. That's all. He just was afraid.
Like I would hurt someone, and so I would like to do a cartwheel. Like I'm literally gonna do a tumble pass, like on the boat.
Okay.
So
acrobatics.
get plus 16 to acrobatics.
It's true. You can say, well, before you roll, I will say my only house rule for D&D is a 1 always fails and a 20 always succeeds, even on skill checks.
Same as well. So
right.
I get advantage on that. 12 plus 16, 28. So I start doing like a Gabby Douglas routine here on the boat, but I want to make sure I'm flipping over people so they know that I'm not going to hurt them. Like I could if I wanted to.
Right, and you when you stop, you sort of get and you hear, "Oi, Unamed, quit distracting the crew, all right?" And you see a towering bugbear that you know to be the captain, who goes by the name of Bristle. He is almost as large as you are. You're a little taller than him, but bugbears have unusually long arms. So even though you've got him by a couple of inches of height, he's got you by a couple of inches of reach. And he's got bright orange fur on his almost like cat-like face. And he is wearing the most worn of the White Sails uniform, which you can see has been conspicuously stitched up and patched in places that he likes. He likes the fact that people can see that he's like, taking these hits and is still here. And he's like,
what's the attractiveness level on this bugbear?
I mean, again, I don't know what you're into. Hang on, let's see. He's got a charisma of 15. He's not unattractive.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not unattractive.
Whatever you say, Captain.
He's like, I want to have a word with you, actually, about helping us out on a little task.
All right. Well, I do have a date with the first mate, later. So, you have to wait your turn. You had this entire voyage to get a piece of me, but, I'll hear you out. That's fine.
He looks over and he's like, oh, yeah. I'm sure that Razmir's really looking forward to that. Ain't you, mate? And you see the half-elf turns bright red and says, Unamid is very lovely, although, again, you all do know I have a pairing bond in place for whenever we make it back home. And he goes, yeah, with a girl from another town, from another school. We ain't met, right? And you see everybody sort of laughs, and Rasmir just sort of like looks down at his feet a little bit, and he goes, she is real and very lovely. And the captain's like, oh, you got a little and he literally, like, with one of his thumbs, wipes your nose.
Oh, watch the nose ring.
And he sort of rubs it on his pants, and he's like, so, I heard your story about that business with the dragons. I don't know if it's true, though, is it?
Well, I thought it was, and then, like, all of a sudden I was teleported somewhere else. Like, they owe me a dragon ride, and I told you that Tiamat loves me like a daughter, okay? Like, I would do anything for Queen Goddess Tiamat, even be a paladin for her. Tiamat, if you could hear me, bring me back. You owe me a dragon ride. Like,
when you say that, you notice like a few of them like visibly like duck their head and kind of cover at the invocation of the name Tiamat. They're like, oh, it's bad luck to call on the dark lady's name. But the captain is unfazed. He's like, well, if you really are the master of dragons, you say.
Well, I didn't say the master of dragons. I just said that she owed me a dragon ride on the other guy because we did the most awesome quest for her and we proved her right. And she invited me to do stuff for her, like adventures and stuff.
Well, how much coin would it cost for me to invite you to do an adventure for me?
Oh, wow. Well, I start like twirling my ring because I realized I didn't have hair. I start playing with my hair that I don't have.
And you might have hair. If you want hair, you got hair. You can have.
Yeah, like the nose ring works. I'm just like, well, what do you have in mind?
He pulls out a map of the coast of the Sword Coast of the Forgotten Realms, and inland a little bit, you see a place marked Sharawood. He's like, hey, They say there's an unkillable dragon, an everlasting worm, they call it. I think maybe you go in there, get rid of it. We come in, we get whatever that thing's gotten, and we split it 50-50, eh? Half for you, half for the crew.
Well, I have to talk to like Miss Tiamat. I don't know if she would want me killing dragons and stuff. But I'll go and say a prayer and maybe she'll answer, maybe she won't, but we'll see.
Well, I'm gonna put us in close to the shore here, right along the coast. If you change your mind, it'd be nothing to just put in and hop, skip, jump right over.
Hop, skip, and jump, eh?
Hop, skip, and jump. And he leans in a little bit and he's like, maybe with a little tumble, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
I like you.
I got you so bad with that one. Sorry, I spent trying to get that out. What? Sorry. Ha. I can tumble. I can do another pass for you if you want. So I go and I start tumbling again. This time I want to do so they have this gymnastics and I can't really remember what it's called. It's a type of gymnastics where it's like juggling people. And so I want to grab the first mate. Oh dear. And now I want to juggle him as I'm flipping.
Whoa. All right, you can roll give me another athletics check. Since I'm sure this is not the first time you've done such a thing.
26.
You successfully do it. You juggle him and toss him in the air and flip and catch him again. And he's and like the moment you put him down, he very much like runs to the rail of the ship and puts his head over it like he's gonna throw up, but doesn't. He's like,
don't forget that bond with the sea.
And everybody, he's like, maybe he needs to go feed his sea wife. And all the other people are like laughing, and he's like, it's not funny. It's not funny. Yeah, it was very most impressive there, ma'am. Most impressive.
So I want to go to like the tallest part of this boat.
You could get up on any one of the masts. There's a crow's nest up on both where the lookouts go up.
Cool. Just whichever one's empty. And I look up to the sky and I go, Tiamat, look here. I know that all your friends were dragons and stuff, and I know you're the best dragon, but I just need a sign if it's okay for me to try to go kill this everlasting dragon thing that this guy wants me to, but I don't want to make you mad because we're cool, right? And so I wait for any sign whatsoever.
She does not respond.
So is that cool? If I go and do
you get nothing.
Strike me down if this is bad.
Nothing.
Right, cool. So I would like to jump flip out of the crow's nest. Like I climbed up, but I want to jump flip out. Because as long as you roll at the right moment, you're fine.
Just give me one more. I realize you're good at this, but you're pressing fate now. So yes, give me one more.
It's acrobatics. So
yes, acrobatics. Remember, a 1 still fails. Let's see. I realize you are good at this though.
A 33.
It's nothing. You could land in a handstand if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yes. You should,
Can I land on the puking first mate?
Yeah, you would that much. You would have that. You would be precise enough that you would easily be able to do it. Yes. Easily.
Yeah.
Cool. You land. Do you want to land like on him or just like near him?
I want to land like it's like so. You said he's over the rails, like about to kind of, but not really.
Yeah.
So I want to land like on the rail in a handstand and like look at him, like, don't worry, you'll be all right later. Wink, like snot bubble, and then push off to the bugbear and be like, Tiamat said it was all right, I guess.
He's like, full speed ahead then. We're gonna to the Gulf of Lurin. And they're like, aye, aye, Captain Lurin. And you feel the ship kind of go like it like leans heavily into the turn. Give me either let me see. Give me either perception or nature. I know your perception's much higher.
I'll probably do perception because I get advantage on that.
So. Okay.
25.
He said we're close, but when he said full on to Lurian, you feel the ship is turning sharply, like almost like you're busting a U-turn.
Well, hold on. Bristle.
Oh, yeah.
You said we were close.
Well, I mean, close is relative, right?
No. Don't lie to me. And so does he have like a little drool like hanging down? Like I would expect, like in the beard or something?
Yeah, he's a little frost-faced.
I would like to repay the favor of the like just mimicking. I don't have good people skills, mind you. So I try to like mimic the same maneuver, but I wipe it on his pants.
Right. And he's like, yeah. Well, you see, I was just checking the maps and I realized it was close enough for us to be able to get there. That's all. But I wanted to make sure that you was willing to help us in this endeavor first. We're all sellswords, of course.
Well, I mean, you are, but I don't know about the rest of these guys.
Oh, yeah, they do anything for coin. All right, you do anything for coin, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, with white sails, yeah, white sails. And they're like, yeah. You're like, this all seems legit, yes? Okay.
Yep, sure does.
You feel the ship basically roll around completely, where the Sword Coast was essentially off to the right of the ship. Now the Sword Coast is off to the left, basically. Like he's busted it all the way around, and all the sails have come out and been rearranged for the ship to start going much faster. You even notice near the back of the boat, a couple of the hands have moved and are clearly performing magic of some sort.
Ooh, I go over there.
One you can see down at the back of the ship, elementals are pushing the ship forward, and the other one is motioning up towards the sails, and you can see air elementals pushing on the sails with wind to like make it go much faster.
So I would like to go over there, and I want to sit like kind of cross-legged like a kid. And I want to be like, you know what? I once saw a guy make a big statue of Torm disappear, like right in front of everyone.
And they were like, really?
Yeah. And then he made a car disappear, like in front of everyone too, or like a wagon. That's what, like, he called it a car, but it's a wagon, I think, with like some fire stuff that comes out. I don't really know how stuff works really, but like, yeah, like, but this just seems very mediocre compared to what he did. And I don't mean any disrespect. Like, I'm just saying, if you could be like the bard I saw that pulled a rabbit out of a hat, I'm just saying that would be a little bit more impressive.
He turns his hand over and he has the ring from your nose in his fingers. How about that?
That was awesome. That was so good.
And he hands it out to you so you can take it back.
Could you put it back in? Because that wasn't really supposed to come out ever.
He looks at it and he goes, okay. Well,
I don't really know how you did that, but that's like, never come out.
Well, the taking is the easy part. I've never really tried to put something back, actually. Oh, okay, hang on. I'm gonna need you to just close your eyes here. And he does
Okay.
come towards you and kind of like put his hand over your eyes. And he looks over and he's like, Saren, I need your help with this. And she looks up and is like, I'm sort of busy. And he's like, no, really, this might be a problem. And she turns and is like, oh, okay. And she comes over and she's like, hello, you're Muvera, right?
Yep, but you can call me Unnamed.
Nice to meet you, Namid. I'm Sarid. This is Parin, my twin brother here.
Cool.
He doesn't always know his own strength is the wrong word. He doesn't know the problems he's causing. Okay, hang on, please. And he is just like, no, please, don't look. And
what?
you
What?
he puts his hands over your eyes. Yeah.
Look.
And you're strong enough. You can't stop him. When you're like, I mean, like, honestly, your strength is high enough. You could just force your eyes open to see through his fingers. And you see he looks very stressed out, with like trying to move this thing back towards your nose. And you see one of her fingers glows with a very small flame. Like she's basically just going to like cut across your nose for him to slide this ring back in. They're like, what? Hey, no, just take it. No, it'll be fine. Like we assure you, like it'll be. It's. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh God, that's my worst one.
It's weird. It's almost like some kind of monster would use that against you.
Let's go figure. Like the DM per se. Okay, 19.
You feel when she goes, no, please be still. You feel yourself like stop for a second, but like you can resist it. Like you feel yourself stop moving. When she asks you to stop moving, you stop moving, but then you could get out of it if you wanted to. And she's just like, yeah, if you let her, she does make like a tiny little incision and he slides the ring back in. And then she puts her hand on your snout and like says something. And you feel like it stops hurting. Like it just feels good again. I'm sorry. And your nose stops running.
Oh, you fixed that. But you got something on your hands. And like, I want her to like pull her hands away and it's like the mucus effect. Like, just.
That's this might be useful if I need to summon webbing or something later.
Cool. Works for me.
Okay. Well, hello. That is, hi. I apologize for my brother. And you see, Parin really is like, I thought it was a simple sleight of hand. You see, it's like I didn't know that it was a permanent. It's a little bit of showing off, really. And he looks over the side and he goes, hey, oi, just because I'm not looking doesn't mean you have to stop. And you feel the boat visibly like sort of goes forward a little more.
So I'd be like, no, it's cool. Like, I mean, like, I didn't always used to have this, just went after I died and came back, you know, like it was there. So I figured it might be important or something. I couldn't pull it out really. So it's really kind of crazy that he was able to. But, you know, I used to be the Minotaur of the Labyrinth at one point in time in my life. And then I think I died. But I don't really remember. But man, I had such an awesome treasure hoard when that happened. And so now I just want to keep rambling to the point where like she's both going to walk away or she's going to just be nice enough to wait here.
They both, having rolled terribly on history, have no idea what you're talking about. So they just sort of like politely nod and like every once in a while, like do something to like coax the elementals along.
And then I want to go through the whole thing with Tiamat and how I am her favorite person in the whole world, but that stupid like angel person like ruined my dragon ride, and I'm just like trying to figure out how to get back to Tiamat right now because she said she would employ me, so like why not, you know? So she had like so many dragon heads. It was so cool.
So, ironically enough, I just rolled 2 19s in a row for both of their insight to see if you were lying. So, like, they both, as you continue your story, especially when you get to the part about Tiamat, their eyes sort of get like wider and wider, and they were like, he leans over to his sister and he's like, either she's telling the truth, and Saren looks at him and says, or she's a crazy person. But they just like kind of look at you and like, wow, that is quite a story, actually.
Do I hear that?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Give me perception. Let's see. Because they are right there, but she's trying to listen.
I rolled a nat 20.
Then you 100% hear it. Like she tries to be polite. He's all like, that
No,
is
but
quite
I'm not lying. Like, here, you guys are like magic people that use witchcraft, right? Like, do one of your like honesty spells on me, and I can tell you everything that happened. If you don't believe me, I will tell Tiamat. But you can do it. Come on. Come on.
that is we don't want to antagonize the chosen of Tiamat.
Nope.
We're just,
you don't believe me. Nope. I insist.
I understand that you are not lying. No, you
Nope,
believe
I
everything you're
insist.
saying. I get it.
Nope. Do it. Do it. This is how we trust each other. All right. This is trust. This is team building right here.
He's like, okay. You do, but all right. And you see he motions in the air, and you feel like a ring appears around you all. Give me a charisma save.
Can I forego the save knowing what's happening?
You cannot consciously fail. Like you instinctively resist, but give it a shot.
I roll way too damn high. I would like to forego the save, and like, especially if I know what they're doing.
You know what? I will say you are a powerful warrior that knows her own mind. I will say you can willingly subject yourself to this magic. Sure.
If I'm asking for it and then I feel something, then I would totally like just.
You're like give into it. Yes. You feel this like pass over you, and he says very simply, "Of the things you just told us, did that all really happen to you?"
Yep.
And they just sort of look at each other, and they were like. Both of them like clap for you a little bit. Yeah, right. And you see like the crew walking along, have no idea why, all sort of like, oh yeah, hey, all right, yeah. And you sort of like get applause from all over the ship.
Yep. I start tumbling again because I feel like that's the only thing to do in this situation.
When you start to tumble around from them, you see the moment that you're just out of earshot, they both immediately go back to the elementals, like and like coaxing them again, and like kind of look back and like sort of shake their head, like, oh wow, I can't believe that happened, and go back to kind of wrangling. Yeah.
Yes.
And the ship goes screaming down the coast, but it's still about an hour of it, even though it is like a 2-sail galleon. Like, I mean, it's kind of going fast enough. It's almost like the front's kind of coming out of the water type deal.
Where is the first mate? Because I feel like there's just one last thing I have to do before we get there.
You don't see him for a few minutes, but then you come up and you do see him emerge wearing something different. He is not wearing the same kind of faded grayish white. His was the cleanest of everyone's. You could see he actually had put some effort into maintaining appearances. This time he is wearing like brown leathers that are like very well worn, but you can tell again instantly, especially you being adept at sneaking, it's basically forest camouflage colors, dark browns modeled, and he's got a couple of like daggers around his leg and a couple of up here. Mm-hmm. And when you walk up, he's like, hi, yes, hello, hi.
Hey, we got to do this real quick. Come here. And
I don't have to.
So I go to the front of the ship, and I put his hands around like my waist, these sturdy thighs here, and I put my arms out, And
He's like, oh dear.
And I go, I'm flying, Rasmir. I'm really flying.
Give
this is
me.
what it's gonna feel like when I ride on a dragon. What happens?
I had this poor guy was going to try and help you go full. I'm the queen of the world. And I actually rolled a natural 20 for his strength check. So this poor half elf, he digs in, man, dip, grip, and rip, and it's like you get about maybe 6 inches, the hooves come off. But he does manage for just a brief moment. You slip the surly bonds of earth. To feel the wind blowing through your fur before he very much drops you like, ooh, 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 I didn't know I had that in me. And then he's like, when he like kind of stops remarking over the fact he didn't know he could do it, then he immediately is like a little embarrassed because he's like, he didn't want you to feel like he's calling you fat. So he's like, yes, did lovely there. But actually, look right over there. And he does point out ahead. You see, well, give me perception. I know you're very adept at perception, but we'll see what you see.
28.
Further down the coast, again, the Sword Coast is fairly contiguous in terms of like what the environment is like. Isn't forests, mountains, forest, mountain, forest, mountain, forest, mountain, bay, forest, mountain, 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 bay. You know, as you go down, you can make out it, but it's not like parts of it are jungles or anything. You know, you do make out a grove of trees some distance inland. There is a bay that comes towards it, but the forest does look like grayish black. And you catch just the faintest glimpse of something very large flies over the forest and then like descends into it just as you kind of check and see. It's a ways off. That's why even with that 28, you don't get it in much detail.
Hey, what's that?
Yeah. He's like, what's what? There? Oh, the forest. Yes, that's where we're going. That is
great.
The Sharwood. Oh, that is the taint of the everlasting worm there.
Oh, looks like everything died.
He looks at you and he goes, well, I certainly hope not everything. But that is why we are here, to rid the forest of the vile creature's corruption.
No, we're here to get stuff out of the cave. That's what the captain said, and you guys do anything for money. So yeah.
He's like, well, yes. I mean, we are mercenaries with white sails, yep. But it doesn't mean we can't still do a good deed at the time.
Oh, I am so sorry. Like, I misunderstood this entire situation. See, I just thought you guys like traveling on the water. I didn't realize you guys actually like did stuff for people. Like, so it's cool. I've seen this before. Yep. It's fine. So Bristle is like this guy named Robin that I heard of once upon a time. He was like a bird or something, but he stole from like the dukes and the duchesses and the queens and kings and stuff, and then gave it to all the people who needed it, like the beggars and stuff. Like, that's actually what I heard. I don't even know if it's true because they said he was like a bird person or something. And he had this guy called Friar Tuck with him. And I don't even really know what god that guy prayed to, but it seemed a little sketchy to me.
That doesn't sound like any Aarakocra I know, and I know every sellsword up and down the Sword Coast. I don't know any Aarakocra sellswords named Robin.
You're not listening. I said a Robin person. It's completely different.
No, he's like out robbing people. Like that's what he does. Like I mean, just
the
like
bird,
Robin.
A Robin. Like,
no, I mean, if it's a bird person, that is an Aarakocra or a Kinku. Like, there's not many other in between there.
Well, I don't know. You figure it out then. And I walk away.
But he's like, but you should know. No, the captain is not like that at all. To continue the.
Oh, so he's not a good person that helps people out?
Well, for the example that you just gave, that he would rob from the lords and ladies and commanding people and give that money to the common folk. No, not at all. He would take money from the lords and ladies as a job to go and kill monsters that might be preying on the common folk. Oh, but we're very much a for-profit enterprise. We're mercenaries, white sails.
Yeah, so were those guys.
I do not know. There are no Aarakocra named Robin in the White Sails, or I would know them. I've been at this for quite some time.
In White Sails, I just said they existed. So now you're putting words in my mouth, and I don't really think that this is a date situation that you're ready for.
Are they from Skullport? Are they a part of that Maltz organization?
You're just being extra now. I can't. You know what? I didn't want to do this, but you need to work on you right now. Okay. And I know that I am the hottest cow in the meadow, baby, but
you're the only cow in the meadow. So that is an accurate statement.
But you know what? I just don't think you're the person for me. You seem a little bit clingy and a little dumb. So no, shh. And I put my finger to his lips. We'll always have the moment where you made me fly. And just remember that. Forget about our date tonight. And I walk away. I know it's going to be hard, but live on. Live on. And I walk away.
As you walk away, you hear the gnome that you'd had the bet with before said, "Boo, I told you, give me my 5 copper back."
What? To me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, yeah. I just said I could get him to go on a date with me. I didn't say that we were going on a date. So I still win.
That just seems like the semantics there. That is the word of the agreement and not the spirit of the agreement. Look at that. Oh, you hurt that poor dear's heart. Oh, maybe he did really like you. Fascinating.
Told you. I can get any man to fall in love with Moveera, even you if I wanted to.
I assure you, you cannot, madam. No, you are entirely too much bovine for me.
That's right. But you wish you could climb all over this bovine and I could run sun up to sunset with you on my back. And you could feel like you were on top of the world for once in your life instead of being just another person on this boat.
Give me an insight check.
Oh, am I good at these? Okay, I'm okay at these. That's 20.
You look into his tiny gnome eyes and you see time and space distilling inside of him. And you realize what he wants is not to be with you. What he wants is to be you. As he's looking at you, you are exactly what he would dream to be as he's just standing there looking at you.
I want to lean in. I know you wish to be me.
No, I don't.
I know you wish to be me, to be with me.
Shh. Get out of my head.
No, I want to put the shh.
And your fingers almost the size of his whole little face.
Just remember this moment on the boat. And that it wasn't you. It was you. But just pretend that it was me so you can help yourself get over this too. Because you are important and you are special. All right? And you can never have this. But we can always have this shh. We can always have this moment on the ship. All right? It's okay. It's okay. You know what? I feel bad because I give him his 5 copper back and I'm just like, you know what? Shh, it was you. It was you. Just fix you. Use that to make yourself happy. All right? But just know that you've always been good enough. All right? And I walk away and I look back. Shh. Don't you cry. You be strong. And I walk away.
As you see, he very much like runs like to like head down below decks as the captain comes walking up to you. As you can see, the ship is like making its way into the bay, and he's like, "I'm gonna have to insist you stop emotionally traumatizing me crew."
Look, I can't help if they all want me. Like, you seem like the most sane person here. You know, you don't like
That's why I'm in
emotions
charge.
get in the way of your job.
Nah, it's just business, right?
Yeah. And I want to like play with my nose ring, like very seductively. You know, you're the biggest bugbear I ever did see. You're the first bugbear I've seen.
Yeah. Business before pleasure, right?
What? We're just having a conversation. Why are you taking that tone with me? Is there something you need to tell me? No, shh. Not now. Not shh. We have work to do. And I walk away. Work, sir. And I give him a wink. And I still walk away. We're playing with my nose ring.
You see the boat is coming into the harbor, and he's like, right when you get just kind of out of arm's reach, he's like, you do. It's time for you to go ashore.
Oh, you guys aren't coming?
I will back you up. Be right behind you.
Well, why do I feel like that's a lie? You know, I had a group that did that to me once. They dropped me off on an island and I never saw them again. You're not going to do that, are you?
Swear on me, Mom. No.
Who's your mom?
You wouldn't know her, but she was a saint. What?
Enough for me.
Are you scared? Are you scared, Mavera? Is the great mighty Mavera scared?
I lean in and like with snot dribbling down, and I purposely like want the snot to like dribble like across his mouth and be like, Muvera's never afraid, but I know you're afraid of commitment. And I walk off like you can't handle this, and I walk away.
We see on the side of the boat, they're preparing one of the like small landing craft to go ashore. Do you take it and go on?
How deep's the water? Probably. Like how far is it from the boat?
If it's still just the little dinghy is like up by the bow where you could like step on it and they'd lower it down. And then from to the shore, it's probably 200 feet. They're a little ways out because they need the deep water for the ship. It's about 200 feet from shore.
Yeah, I'll take a dinghy, I guess.
Okay. They lower you down, and you see as you are leaving, Saren and Parin walk up, and they're like, "Good luck out there. We'll see you shortly."
Cool.
Should you need any help, I suppose, yell, scream, sit. Oh, he tosses something into the boat, and it's a stick about this long. He said, he's like, point it towards the sky, pull the cord, and it will notify us if you're in distress.
So point toward the sky and pull. I look for the cord.
There is a cord. He's like, but it only works once.
Once?
Yes. So only use it if it's important. You kind of hit the water.
Dang it. I wanted to light this bad boy up now. How do I know it will even work? All right.
Like, yep. You row to the shore, and as you row in, you realize the water in the bay starts to get increasingly red as you get closer to it. Give me a history check.
Well, let's hope this is good.
Let's hope.
That water is red.
You're like you have you successfully rolled to disbelieve the red water? Yeah.
Yep. No, it's 8 total. I rolled a 4.
The you know that you need to row into this bay here. And you can see the forest that looks quite frankly, it looks haunted. You can see it is still like some distance inland. Like you'd have once you rode in, you still have a short walk to get up there. Probably about an hour's walk. You'd wager.
Why? Fine.
You hit start walking.
I mean, I'm not gonna walk in this red water, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, you can get to the shore, no problem. But
I'm
pull the
like
boat in.
shore with the oars.
No, but you get all in and you drag the boat ashore. Start walking, and at first it is it's beachfront. It's kind of a rocky sand, so it's a little craggy. But you make your way up, and there's a forest and grass and greenery and everything that you'd expect. And as you start getting closer and closer to this place, you realize it is getting darker. The plants first they're smaller and a little more shriveled. And as you continue getting closer to this forest, it looks like patchier and darker and grayer to the point that you can clearly see it is like, even though it is kind of high noon out here over this forest, it is very like dark and dim. Like you think it's probably about dusk light around it. And it is just kind of dark and negative.
Sorry, spells.
No problem. You got a lot of options.
Can I detect magic?
You can. I'll even give it to you as a ritual, so you don't have to use up one of your spell slots to do it, because you're no rush. So what detect magic does is you can detect any magic within 30 feet of you. As you detect very faint magic coming from the forest that just gets stronger as you continue to approach.
So this is what I want to do. Hear me out here. So Muvera has been in situations like this before, because Muvera, I was that Minotaur in the labyrinth, okay? So I know a magical fog when I see one. Not really a fog, but it's just because whatever in here is so powerful that it's omitting magical rays and stuff. So, I'm probably going to take it real cautious the closer I get to this stuff. And I am going to, let me check this, make sure. Ooh, they changed that. Sorry, I was going to do greater invis, but I got to wait till I get a little closer. Because it only lasts for up to a minute now.
It does only last for a minute.
So, doing that stealth then, hiding in shadows because it's all around me. I keep bailing on my D&D Beyond character. I never use my phone for it, so I apologize.
No, it's fine. It's the app works. The D&D Beyond works much better on a computer than it does on the app.
Yeah, and so I'm used to running it off my tablet, and I just don't have it. It wasn't charged. So I want to do stealth and then perception. So
all right, so roll stealth.
32.
As far as you can tell, you are a ghost. Just. And Inshiro, do you enter the forest?
Yes.
As you make your way in, it is dark and black and oppressive and depressing. Like this place just feels sad. There's no birds singing, no squirrels. You hear the odd breeze blow through here that makes the trees crack and bend, almost like there's some sort of like cruel laughter coming from the branches as they rub against one another. And as you make your way in with a perception that high, we'll see up in a clearing, you see from some distance what looks like a gigantic pile of bones. Dragon bones.
Can I just kind of hold ground where I am stealthily and do that detect magic again for directing it at the pile of bones?
So the detect magic would still be up, but it will only, you'd have to get within 30 feet of it to know if it were magic.
How far am I?
That's however far you want to be, really. With a 32 perception, you would have spotted it from some distance.
Okay. So I want to stealthily, like, I'm gonna roll stealth check to kind of creep up on it, like to get just in range.
You, as you get there, it is intensely magic. It has intense necromantic magic about it. And while you're looking at it, you hear a voice come from, I think you lost me. Can you see me?
Yep, I can see you.
Okay, sorry, I bumped my camera there. As you approach it, you hear a voice that seems like it kind of echoes from everywhere and nowhere all at once. Little mouse, I know you're there.
I'll wait. I don't move. I stay right here.
You're a patient little mouse. I assure you I am more patient.
I wish, like, this is the one time I wish I had, like, a cleric with me. I'm like, oh, could you detect evil in the area, please? Cool. Because, I am Muvera in... All right, cool. I'll just wait.
Do you say all right, cool out loud?
I feel like I would. I feel like I would. I'm trying to play this in character, but trying to be smart about it. I'm still stealthing. I'm like, can I throw my voice using minor illusion, the cantrip?
Minor illusion lets you do just like small sounds, like the sound of like a bird or like a door closing or something. Like you can't do full ventriloquism because ventriloquism is a different spell.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, man.
And ventriloquism does exactly that.
Is there a way I could just... You said it's just a sound. Can I do one word?
I'll give you one word.
Okay.
You want okay to come from somewhere else?
Yeah. Opposite where I am. Even though I don't think it's going to work because it's a dragon and probably a Dracolich. But, we'll see what happens.
You throw your voice over there, and after a moment, you hear, your footfalls are silent. Your stealth is admirable, but insufficient. Come forward, Minotaur. You can't hide from me.
I walk out.
When you approach the pile of bones, cautiously, I assume. You don't just like roll up to it, yeah.
I am not approaching. I know that's the dragon.
Right.
That's the dragon. I'm just gonna kind of... All right.
Why are you here?
So there was this bugbear. He told me to come ashore because he said you're hurting some people or something, which I don't really care. I mean, what you do, it seems like this island is deserted anyway, and what you do here is your business. But he said something about maybe trying to grab stuff from you, and he wanted me to scope out the area. So here I am. Here you are. What are we gonna do? I mean, I don't want to fight if I don't have to. Like, that just seems like useless energy for you, useless energy for me. Like, I mean, but if you want, we can. But like, look here, like, I know Tiamat will be very upset if I like tried to hit any type of dragon, regardless if you're dead or alive or everlasting or undying or whatever the bugbear dude told me. So yeah.
I am Zavarathmius, the everlasting worm. And if you do not wish to fight, you see the bones do start to reassemble themselves and stand up slowly into the unmistakable skeleton of a dragon. He doesn't have any flesh or tattery stuff. Like, it's just poor bones with a undead greenish aura sort of all around him that you would have been roughly the outline of a dragon. And he turns his head and looks right at you. If you do not wish battle, then you should go.
I mean, do you want the bugbear to come in here? Because I got this little pulley stick thing, and he can come right in here if you want to fight him or whatever. Like, he has an entire crew, and I'm assuming you're probably hungry because you have no meat on your bones. But it's up to you. I can tell them, like, I've is this the undead dragon that I had met?
It is
Or is
not.
it is not.
It is
Yeah.
not. That was Null. And Null looked like he was made out of shadows. This looks like bone.
So I have a question for you, and please don't get offended because, like, it's been a really long time since I got to speak to one of you really awesome, so cool dragons. I mean, you guys are just extra powerful, like, all the time, and it's insane. First off, so kudos to you on that. Hey, question: have you ever heard? And like I said, no offense, but have you ever heard of a dragon guy named Null by chance?
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Damn it. I feel like you just go for the dagger with those.
It's weird. Again, it's almost like you have a weak point, and I continue to attack it.
20, not natural.
Ironically enough, and this is true, what you needed was 21.
Oh,
You feel waves of terror move through you that come rolling off of him, and you are frightened, which means while you are frightened, you have disadvantage on attacks and ability checks, and you cannot willingly move closer to him.
I wasn't trying to move closer, but actually,
He sort of stands up.
oh
Yes, you have advantage against frighten?
no. Sorry, let me get this. I have
You
a
might. I know you got a lot of powers.
Man, this is the problem with playing level 20 characters. You can do way too much.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
might.
yet, not always enough.
No, I got out of the page. It's the phone, man. It's
I get it.
uh see what items I have.
Mm-hmm. While you're doing this, you see he continues to like reform and reconstitute, and like his wings sort of like stretch out a little bit and then come back in. And you realize that this is what you saw flying over this patch of forest as you all were approaching.
Question: can I do
Mule.
spell thief as a reaction?
Which does what?
Immediately after a creature casts a spell that targets you or includes you in its area effect, you can use your reaction to force the creature to make a saving throw when its spellcasting modifier. With its
You
modifier.
cannot, because he did not cast a spell. It is his frightful presence.
Ah.
It's just being around him does this. So if you have anything that'll free you from being frightened or give you advantage against being frightened, you would be able to re-roll.
I do have my storm girdle.
I
I forgot that I'm wearing a girdle, by the way.
mean, it is all part of the look, yes.
Yes. I don't think I have anything.
There's nothing that leaps to my mind that has that, but I could be wrong. I don't think so, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And but it's D&D Beyond and it's cool. So I think my cloak of protection is already factored into that save. So,
I believe it was too. Yep.
Yeah. So nope. I'm just terrified.
A little scared. Yep. But you're only scared for 1 minute. So, and then but I mean, that's a long time pending if you fight him or not. And he just says to you, any you bring in here will never depart. They will find nothing but death.
So he didn't answer my question about Null?
You asked him about, when and then he hit you with his frightful presence. He was like, the god of the shadows is known to me, yes.
Well, but I'm just curious because you're very terrifying, and you seem a lot more terrifying than him. So I'm actually shocked that you're not a god, but you might be. So no disrespect if you are. I'm so sorry. I keep trying to keep that same distance between us.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah, you actually can't come any closer to him, even if you wanted to, because you're frightened.
Yeah. I know, but I'm buttering this bad boy up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm actually shocked that you're not a god. I mean, you are the everlasting. Last I saw him, he was stuck in a room with a little what are those things that angel people locked in a contest of stare downs? And I mean, you seem like the person that would never be caught in that because you seem way too smart. I mean, look at this. You have your own little territory here. Man, you're making this work, and I like all this gray and stuff. You are really just doing the thing with this place. You know what I'm saying?
What manner of creature are you that talks so? And he takes a step towards you, which of course instinctively makes you take a step back. Yeah. It's like, leave this place or be destroyed.
I don't even know what to tell you. I did like you a lot better than him. It really is crazy. But I'm Muvera. My friends call me Anaman. I don't really quite know if we're friends yet. I don't think we are. But I am the favored of all the dragons. Tiamat loves me. That Null guy, he's you know him. He's kind of a jerk, but he secretly liked me too. I mean, you're a lot cooler looking than him, let's be honest with him. But yeah, and then there's that one guy. He was supposed to give me a dragon ride, and then he didn't. I don't even remember his name, but he claims he was good, but he sure was being a little whiny brat. But anyway, I'm Muvera. I'm half cow, half minotaur. Most people just leave me to die anyway, but I died before, and honestly, a god will bring me back if it happens again. That's what happened the first time.
Give me your persuasion check.
Come on, magical dice. I need you to win. Sarah, get out of this. Hold on, let me get my skills. I didn't want to roll it before I pulled up the skills. Summer biscuit. I need a nat 20 here. I feel like here's my cold shot, baby.
Here we go.
Guess who got a nat 20?
You did not.
I sure did. I sure freaking did. That's right. You want to see it? Because I got some cool. Look at that. It lets me know it's one of my cool Vorpal dice. Bam.
You know, way to shoot your shot. You know what? Here, as you're continuing to ramble in Persuade, Zavarath Emius, the everlasting worm, and hit a natural 20 on your persuasion check to stop him from promptly eating you, is a wonderful place for us to take a little break. So let's do we'll do a quick 10 here, and we will come back and see how this all shakes out. So y'all don't go nowheres, and we will be right back. So normally when we come back from break, I know we have questions from the audience. You type a capital question, we talk about it. I'm doing it different today, y'all, because she posed an interesting question to me during the break here. Please restate what it was you just said you were working on.
So one of my friends asked me for anime recommendations, and I'm trying to be accommodating because I do watch a lot of anime, though I don't watch anything that's been relevant in the past 5 years. So we got on the discussion about Avatar, and would you consider Avatar an anime? And while I do, I know it's American made, so that's always the issue when it comes down to it.
Again, in the strictest technical sense, no, it is not. In a practical, animated, experiential sense, abso-freaking-lutely. So again, has this person seen Avatar?
I don't know, but I assume they have because they're super nerdy. They're into a lot of stuff that I'm into as well. So there's no doubt in my mind that they haven't seen Avatar.
Well, and I would submit on the off chance they haven't, Avatar is a good gateway drug into like that sort of thing anyway. Because again, not spoiling anything, but the season finale of season 2 of Avatar is one of the best season finales.
15 years. They can deal with some spoilers.
Well, no, but it just went up on Netflix. Zone of safety. You know, there's people that are discovering it for the first time right now. Do not take the war in Boston Say from them.
Now, if you're 15, you have an excuse.
Do not take the war in Boston Say away from them.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you a question because you said questions, and I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
Favorite comedy anime?
Project Echo.
I'm gonna write that down.
Here's the challenge with Project Echo, though. Even though it is great, it was satire for like late 80s, early 90s anime. So a lot of the jokes will still be funny, but why they're funny like won't make as much sense anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's like Fist of the North Star jokes and Robotech jokes and stuff that like it'll still be a gag, but you may not know why it's a gag. But I really love Project Echo.
So I grew up, like, anime became, like, a super big thing, because I'm a 90s kid, even though I was born in the 80s. But, like, 90s kid, grew up with it. Like, Power Rangers anime, that was a thing. I never liked Dragon Ball. I know, like, people at work are going to be like, how dare... It was just, even as a kid, I knew that they were filler episodes, but... I feel like I'm going to do that for the rest of the time. My favorite anime is the first one that I watched straight through. Like, I just watched it one summer. Ranma 1/2 is my favorite comedy anime.
Yeah, no, Ranma's dope. I'm gonna lay this on you quick because we for sure could spend all the hours talking about just this one thing. Back in my day, you know, when I was but a boy, when I started back in anime, when they had to get it on VHS tape, you had to know somebody that had it already. The way everybody started the same way. You watch Fist of the North Star and Vampire Hunter D in the same night. And that was it. That was your initiation. You saw those two things and you were an anime fan. So those two things still have a special place in my heart. I think in terms of series, I kind of I mean I watched a ton of the stuff that was coming over kind of in the early 90s and 2000s, and then I kind of hit a little bit of a gap in the recent era. I really like Sword Art Online. I really like Sword Art Online.
Man,
uh
they could have
I,
just stayed with the original. So like I actually recommended that, like, and that was like, it was like, oh, what am I thinking? Sword Art Online.
yeah,
Yes, start
I
with
didn't
Sword Art.
I didn't mind the Gun Gale arc. I didn't like mind
Oh,
any of that.
oh, I can't even watch the new season. Like I just couldn't get into it.
The
Like
newest thing, the
yeah.
last thing that came out, I actually have not seen yet. I've seen everything else
Um,
up through the
I
what was
watched
the name of the movie? You know what I mean. I've seen everything but the newest thing.
I watched 2 episodes. I couldn't do it. It's something about, like, I feel like it should have just been one and done, or someone's out for revenge and comes back. But
But
like it
Kirito and
wasn't
Asuna are so sweet though. My boy Kirito, and he's OP. Oh, I want to love on him and hearken unto him, the Black Swordsman.
all right.
Oh,
Here's
I
an adult.
hate Attack on Titan. I hate Attack on Titan because
What,
Aaron Yeager is
people running around like I'm gonna destroy stuff.
Aaron Yeager is the worst protagonist in history. And I even know a bunch of the people that do voices on that show. Aaron Yeager is the worst. I hate Aaron Yeager for the same reason I hate Korra. They don't
All
learn
right.
anything and they make the same stupid
Well,
mistakes repeatedly.
well, I haven't watched Attack on Titan. My husband watches it, and I just like woke up and I'm like, why are naked people stomping around? So, mind you, not gonna watch it. But I'm looking at my list.
Okay, well, give me your list. Give me your list.
Okay, so this is my recommendations.
Mhm.
GTO, which is an adult comedy. Grand
Mhm.
Teacher Onizawa, GTO
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
Amazon. That's free, and I'm
Mhm.
thrifty. Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix. I really enjoyed the story, and I think it's American made, but I really enjoyed it. And I know it's based
Have,
on.
have you experienced the Fate Stay series?
So I tried to do Fate, and it felt like Game of Thrones. I felt like I got introduced to way too many characters right out of
It's a
the
lot.
gate, and I wasn't prepared for that. I was looking for something a little lighthearted. I'll go back to it.
Oh, it is not. No, it is not lighthearted. It is very intense. But let me lay on you how you, because whether or not you enjoy the Fate Stay series is all about the order in which you watch it. Because it's very confusing. Because literally the same story has been told 3 times. So here's how you got to hit it. I'm about to solve this for you. Okay. Here's how you have to hit it. Because I want you to experience. Because it's wonderful. You have to watch the first 13 episodes of Unlimited Blade Works. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Okay. Then you have to watch Fate Zero. Watch all of Fate Zero.
And then come back.
And then finish Unlimited Blade Works.
And then come on back. So then number 3 is finish
here. Unlimited Blade Works. And then Fate Apocrypha was just really good. Like you don't have to watch it. I mean, it's just interesting, but I mean, it was just good. Yeah.
So like I like comedic stuff. Like when I watch anime, like one of Blue Exorcist. I love that. That popped up out of nowhere. I like just that group in particular. And then God, what was they had Sinbad that was really good on Netflix that I really liked.
Have you ever gone back and watched any of the old school like Lupin the Third stuff?
No.
Like the old Lupin the Third? Like Miyazaki did a Lupin the Third movie that I think you would like. Yeah.
So
because Lupin is I don't mean to like misrepresent it because people get mad at me, but I mean Lupin is he's almost Austin Powers-ish. Almost. He's not quite so yeah, baby, but I mean he's like a silly secret agent.
So I loved One Punch Man.
Yeah.
But like I feel like when I got to Puri Puri Prisoner, I just wanted a show about Puri Puri Prisoner. Like that was it. Like, and I don't know why, because like he's adult humor. Mind you, children, don't go look it up. I know you are, but don't do it. But Puri Puri Prisoner had to be my favorite person for all of the wrong reasons. It was in the midst of a certain scandal that was happening in the U.S. at the time that is still going on, but kind of got pushed to the wayside because of current events. If you know exactly what I'm talking about, probably. So I was like, I just want to see a show about this guy and how he got in prison.
If you, I know you said you like funny. Again, this is not funny. This is like a soap opera. But if you've ever seen Fushigi Yugi, the mystery play, it's long. It's like 70 episodes.
So so speaking of fun things, I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I was so lost. And mind you, I kept watching. That was the worst part. I kept watching, figuring that this might make sense eventually.
Like, we're gonna get there somewhere, yeah, right?
We're gonna figure. No, we just never got there. And then it started over in current day or almost current day, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep watching this because it's just.
I never got into that one. Because I heard similar things. Yeah, I heard similar things.
It wasn't that I was entertained by it. It was just like, I don't know what's happening. Why am I still watching this?
Yeah.
And then I was 6 episodes in. Everyone, spoiler, because mind you, it doesn't matter what I tell you, you're still going to be lost. That's how crazy it is. It's accurately like, I think I made it halfway into the first season and then it restarted. Like, everyone died. It restarted. And I was like, what happened? How did we get?
I've been told I should watch The Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, and my friend was like, you should watch it, you'll love it. And I was like, okay, I mean, I will. And then he showed me a video of a dude power bombs a shark. Literally power bombs a shark. And I was like, okay, you have my attention now. So now that is the top of the queue was Kenichi's strongest disciple.
I'm looking at my list here. I'm like, ooh, because I sent him a whole bunch. He's probably like, hey, man, it's real late. It's like, so I'm on Central Time. He's on East Coast. So it's almost midnight. And I'm sending him all these texts about anime right now.
I mean, he shouldn't have asked. It's like, if you're hardcore, like, you'll make time. Yeah, but
Plus.
Have I seen what? Blood Plus? Mm-mm.
It's a drama. Very interesting. And I really enjoyed it. No comedy whatsoever. So now I've set a serious one. So now people can accredit me for being an anime enthusiast.
If you can get Fushigi Yugi somewhere, I mean, it's in terms of what it's really like, it's kind of like Inuyasha if Inuyasha actually had an ending.
They're gonna. You heard about they might be doing a restart to finish it off finally.
I'm not interested. That's why I can't get down with Berserk. Like, I'm not down for these stories that don't end. Like, no, I need a conclude. I need a bracket. No,
Blood Plus actually ends. There was some anime that I watched that was vampire oriented that kind of ended, but not really.
Have you seen Record of Lodoss War? The first Record of Lodoss War?
No.
It is a D&D anime, and it is exquisite. Record of Lodoss War is fantastic.
My man, you're gonna have to text me all these. I'm trying to write them down, and I'm like,
no, I get it. No, this is the last one, because then we'll go back to actual D&D. Record of Lodoss War. LODOSS. Record of Lodoss War. It's another one of those ones where they told it 3 times, and then there's an OA and a reboot and expansion. I'm like, no, none of that. The first Record of Lodoss War. Just let it be what it is, and then you'll have a point of reference for whether or not.
So I have a question. As someone that plays D&D, right? And so me and my husband got into it, not in a bad way, just debate. As someone that avidly plays D&D, do you like seeing people act out D&D?
Like LARP or what?
No. Just like if you're watching a TV show and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play D&D," because like how do
you care?
So
no, like there was the whole like the El Scandaloso on Saturday Night Live a few months ago where they did the like we're the D&D geek thing. I don't care. But because what you'll find is I'm largely immune to the judgment of others. Like, otherwise I wouldn't have been. I'm a giant black dude from Arkansas, and I was a nerd before it was cool. So if like criticism affected me, I wouldn't be where I am in this world.
So here's the thing. So like anytime someone plays D&D on like a TV show, like Stranger Things was like the thing that made this super popular again. And like, yeah, you had Community that did it. way back when, and a couple of other shows. Mm-hmm. But like, I find that when I watch people play D&D, that one, there's like this weird nerdy stereotype that goes with it. Mm-hmm. And two, they don't ever know any of the rules. And I'm like, what edition are you playing? Because I've never
they didn't even talk to anybody. Yeah. There's a lot, you probably do know this, a lot of your fellow wrestlers play D&D, and a lot of them play Vampire. I met Paul White. I met the Big Show playing D&D. Yeah. There is a thing that is happening that I'm heavily NDA'd about, so I won't say what game or what people, but other of your wrestling brethren are about to be participating in the community. I see that face. You're running through your mind. You're like, not that guy. Fuck that guy. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying nothing.
Because normally most of the D&D stuff that comes through, like, so in WWE, because I feel like we got to do a shout out to that. Normally in D&D we have, in WWE we have a D&D crew, and it's not strictly D&D, but we call it Rollout. It's because I love tabletop games, but I've only played D&D. So we had Freddie Prinze Jr. come in and DM the third season for our show Rollout, and I know we're doing other stuff later this month. So when you said that, I'm like, am I doing that? Or am I going to have to go find Xavier Woods and chop his legs out from under?
I'm not saying anything about anybody doing anything.
You don't have to say anything.
I'll tell you when the camera stopped rolling. However, not only, if you guys need somebody, not only do I know everybody, I am also somebody. So I'm just saying.
Well, we've already talked about you coming and DMing my home group, my man.
I'm in.
We were doing an exchange.
I'm in. Whatever. The answer is always yes. The answer is always yes.
I told my crew that I beat your D&D campaign so bad you wanted a redo.
First of all, I have photographic evidence to the contrary. I have actual tail of the tape. That's the first thing. Second of all, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. But yes, you discovered clues that I left to be discovered. So yes, I'm glad. I'm glad.
How you dungeon master types are. You're like, they'll never think of this. They'll never think to destroy the runes on this door first.
It's the God's honest truth. At this point, I constantly just the fact that we're going to get back to this in just a second, but the fact that you just rolled 20 on a persuasion of the Draco Lich, I'm like, what does that even mean to a Draco Lich? Because that's my style, and this is true with my style, because there's plenty of people, and you'd be within your rights to be like, it is an old undead dragon. Like, it just doesn't care. There's people that be like, there's nothing you can offer it. But I'm like, that's lame though. I'm like, they try. And if the dice say it works, it's like, oh, well, let's see where this goes.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes it interesting to me.
When you chaotic minotaur that's not afraid to die because she died before and came back and she's a little off, and thinks that she'll come back again. Yeah.
I'm not at all stalling now to give myself a few more seconds to figure this out. But it is neat to me though, because I think it is a misnomer that athletic people or the cool kids or like any X adjective type of person can't love and enjoy and participate in these communities, because it's for everybody. It's for everybody. There's room at the table for everybody, and because I have railed against toxicity and gatekeeping many times, and I'm fortunate between being a gigantic dude and genuinely, truly from
you, because we've never met.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm 6'9", 270. Yeah.
Oh, hey, you wanna be a wrestler? I can train you.
Again, I realize you know bigger dudes than me. Most people don't. So I'm like, I know big dudes, but yes, I too am a big dude.
6'9" is big though.
Yeah. It's what's funny, and so I will say this last thing, and then we will detour back in. Way back when the Undertaker was Mean Mark Callis in WCW, when Mean Mark Callis and Sid Vicious were a tag team known as the Skyscrapers when I was a little kid. And they were 6'8" and 6'9", Sid Vicious and Mean Mark Callis, the Skyscrapers. And I was like, I want to be 6'9" so bad. And I drank so much milk constantly. And I'm the tallest person in either side of my family in history. My parents are tall. My dad's 6'4", my mom's 5'11", which is respectable. But no one has my mutant height. Like, that was just like sheer calcium and will that made this happen.
I wish I was tall. I'm 5'1", and the doctor said I was going to be like 5'6". I'm like, can I get that extra 5 inches? Can y'all just pass it down?
It's the it's the squats, and the squat rack. That's it.
That probably made me shorter, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's where you lost those inches on the. But you know what? It worked out.
I just never grew. Like, I actually didn't grow till after I got out of high school. Like, that whole urban myth of like, oh, you grow and by your senior year, that's it. No, I was like 4'9" or 4'10" my senior year, and I didn't grow till like I got out of high school, and like everything came in, and like to the point where people were like, "Oh, hey, you were that one really nerdy chick. Wow, you really developed." And I was like, I don't know if I want to be a part of this conversation.
And then you just spear them, boom, bang, to the ground. Yeah, because you had it. You're ready. All right. Well, let's dive back in here to your stare down with Zevarathemius. It throws me off because there's an extra I. Zevarathemius. Yes. But no, hold on. Wait. Now let's do this because I'm from Arkansas. You're from Texas. I'm gonna put this in chat. You say this name out loud. There you go. Look at that.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. It's a thing. Yeah, that's big. I was trying not to cuss so bad.
Zevarathemius.
Word. Exaverathemius.
Either way, Playboy is the everlasting worm. So.
The undying. That's what I'll call you. My man over here. X gonna give it to you.
X. Well, he would have. Now maybe he won't because you're coming off of that charisma check. So you, Muvera Unamed, to your friends, made the point to him that you have met Null, the god of the shadow dragons, and found this tremendous beast to be even more impressive. And with your rolling of a natural 20 on your persuasion check that you called first, might I add.
I needed it so bad.
Oh, you did, because it was about to go poorly. Yes. It stops and you see green flames sort of leap to life in its undead skull as it turns its head and studies you, and you feel the fear dissipate. The dreadful presence drops. It clearly is still a terrible thing right in front of you, but the supernatural compulsion takes its claws out of your heart. And he looks at you and says, "Really?"
Oh, yeah. He seemed to be quite the complainer. He even tried to trick me, and I'll tell him the whole story. I don't want to give spoilers.
No spoilers, but you tell him everything, right?
You can go back and donate to Treehouse because they're awesome people. But yeah, so I tell him the whole situation of like, yeah, and he was just whiny and like he was just mad because we didn't pick him. But like, obviously, if you were in the room, like look at you. I mean, I'm pretty sure he could probably.
He turns and he's like, "Come, creature, I would show you something."
Okay.
And he turns and starts walking deeper into the forest. And it's almost like every time he steps, it's like the bones reform into a foot as he walks. And then they sort of like dissipate and come back again. And he turns and looks at you and he's like, "I understand you were denied your dragon ride."
Yep. Sure was.
He extends a wing down towards you.
Are you being? I climb up. Is like, oh, I try to be as delicate as possible.
I mean, it is uncomfortable to say the least, but you are able to clamber up and, arrange yourself sort of between, some vertebrae. And his head turns around and looks right at you, and he's like, I may destroy you yet, but you have approached me with respect and friendship, which is not often encountered.
Well, you are absolutely amazing. You are a like you should be a god. Like you know what? You're so cool. You know, I know so many people that would envy just to see like you're magnificent in the sheer terror that you bring into people's hearts. Like you have worked so hard. You deserve to be recognized.
You see, he turns back around and he just like kind of like shakes a little bit that you feel probably is with pride. Because whatever he is now in the depths of his lichdom, the vanity that lay in the heart of all dragons is still in his. And he turns and he starts walking deeper into the forest. And he says, what do you know of this place? The Sharawood.
I know that this is your domain and I am just a guest here. That's about it.
Give me a history check. I realize Muvira is a minotaur of action, but she still may have heard something somewhere along the way. Nope. Yep. It all seems legit, huh?
8.
Yeah, you're like, no, woods, dragon, here we are. Yeah.
I only know what the Minotaur dude on the boat told me, and he said that this is your domain, and that's about it. I mean, obviously, you have such a presence over this place. Like, look at it. It all bends to your will.
He walks further and he tells you, this place is a prison, but not just for me. I guard someone who must never leave.
So not only are you just so magnificent, you are doing the biggest duty of all, and no one even knows about it. This, sir, is a travesty.
I was bound here by the witches of Rashameen to watch over him. And you notice he comes to a clearing in the forest that is a hole, goes deep into the ground. You realize probably 40 feet. And the trees are high and grown over so that even if you flew over it, you wouldn't know this hole were here, as the trees have basically like leaned in to almost make like a forest canopy. And down in the hole, you see a huge creature. It is about 15 feet tall. It is not completely dissimilar to you, Muvera, but instead of being a minotaur, it is almost akin to like a horned werewolf. And it's got a vaguely canine head with a huge row of antlers and a massively muscular body that is covered in like small metal plates, almost like its skin itself is armored. And he's got slitted yellow glowing eyes.
Can I try to do a check to see who the sisters of the was?
Sure. History. The witches of Rashameen.
Yep. Those hussies. 19.
You know that there is a city called Rashameen that is probably not too terribly far from here. You know, you're like, witches might have been an insult, not sure.
Well, witchcraft, terrible.
Let's see. 19 is not insignificant success though. You know that it is sort of um it is a country. It is in the northeast of Faerun, so actually a little ways from here. The people are known as the Rashimi. It is largely a good place. It is mostly populated by humans. You know what? With a 19, it's a big enough place. I said maybe even passed through there before.
Okay.
But it'd be away. It'd be like it's some distance from places like Waterdeep. You know.
What is that? Or who is that?
Eltab, Lord of the Hidden Lair, a powerful demon lord. And you see, like, he turns his head slowly and looks up at you, and you see he's covered in heavy chains that are just like driven into a post in the ground. And you would say the chains can basically go to any of the walls here, but he can't get out. Mortal.
So what happens? So hear me out, Undying. What if I kill this guy? You can go free, right?
His head like turns around and he looks at you again, and he's like, I am forbidden from raising claw against him, but were you to, that would probably free me, yes.
I mean, you seem like a cool, powerful dude. Like, I mean, and it seems like we're friends. Like, you can call me a Namid. Like, uh, have you ever, like, I don't want to offend you or anything, but have you ever had a nickname? Because I got the perfect one for you.
No, besides the everlasting worm.
I mean, that, sir, is an amazing moniker. But what if we put some terror behind it? You know what I mean? Like, just so everyone knows. You know what I'm saying? What
And
if
his head like kind of like rotates when he looks at you.
I mean, I already knew about you. I mean, honestly, like, who wouldn't? I mean, they'd be idiots not to know who you are. But how about Mr. X, the undying overlord of all?
You see probably the closest thing this undead skull is capable of making to a smile, sort of kind of play across his fangs, that is both great and terrible. And he says, assist me in this, and if I am freed, I will lay kingdoms at your feet, Anamid.
Okay. So I get, like, look, sir, can I do I am an idiot.
I like where this is headed, first of all.
So this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's going to alarm said dragon in that instance, then I will not do it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this thing looks pretty freaking powerful chained up, right? Like,
Yeah, no, he's definitely imposing.
Yeah. I wish I knew more about the witches. Like, you said they're good aligned, right?
I mean, yeah, it's a nice city, sure.
I mean, to me, they trap two creatures here. So obviously they're jerks. That's what that seems like to me. Not only did they trap this poor dragon who just needs to spread his wings like a peacock baby and fly. Yeah, movie reference. You're welcome. And
Peacocks are jerks, by the way. Yep.
and so can I roll a religion check to kind of get a little bit more, like, I just need a little bit more insight into how to kill this thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can roll religion.
21.
You have heard the name Eltab is a demon lord. He is in fact the lord of the hidden layer. He is a great and terrible thing. You have no particular insight into what his strengths or weaknesses may be. You just know that he would be very powerful indeed, which is probably why he is caught here and not dead. Because if they could have killed him, they would have. Because you realize it must have taken no small amount of sorcery to both trap him and trap Zavarathemius. Huh?
Mr.
Here to watch over.
Undying overlord of all.
X gonna give it to you. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know.
So yeah, you know it is. It would have been no small sorcery to do either of those things, much less both. He is looking right at you. Like when you roll up on the dragon, he's looking at both of you from down in the hole.
So, Mr. X, the Undying Overlord of all, sir. What's his weakness?
He looks down at him again and he's like, the conditions of my imprisonment prevent me from helping you. And when you say that, this hideous creature shape changes right in front of you into a very handsome minotaur. And he's like, excuse me. You seem both reasonable and fair. There's no reason why this has to become hostile. If you're concerned with my friend here's liberation, then surely liberating me would accomplish the exact same effect. Yes?
Mr. X, Overlord of all, Undying. You're obviously way smarter than me. And what you just told me is that your condition relies on his condition. So obviously you guys are bound, right? I mean, these look, I don't like witches and their witchcraft and hexes and stuff. Like sometimes that they're a little tricky. Like, I mean, I don't want to off this guy and then you're gone too. So maybe there's some truth to that, unless you think he's fooling me.
He's like, here, listen, my dear worm. Perhaps were this beautiful, powerful creature here able to liberate me, you and I, side by side, could rain our revenge on Rashamine, huh? We will make them rue the day they ever thought to stand against us. In Mr. X, the Undying ruler of all.
Can I roll an insight check to see if
you can? Yep, you can. Florides don't exist.
No, it like went into my like bag of chips that I have right here. That feels like I don't
bag of holding.
17 insight. 22. 17 plus 5.
He doesn't know. He's just trying something.
So you're just gonna lie. You're just gonna sit there and lie to myself and not just like screw me, Mr. X.
Oh, I assure you, my dear, I very much mean that if I were to get out of here, I will rain revenge down on Rashamine. That is all quite true.
You don't know. You're unsure.
He looks down at his chains and he's like, you are astute as well as beautiful. I am not sure. what would happen were I to be freed or were I to be defeated. 'Twould be a great shame, however, to force me to raise hand on something as lovely as you.
Look, mister, like I don't know what your game is here, and yeah, you're good looking, but eh, you know, sometimes when you come on too strong to a lady, like sometimes, you just gotta backpedal because wham, red flag right there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Mr. X? Look at this guy. He doesn't even know.
It is unfortunate.
Well, where's the magical rune stuff? There has to be some around here somewhere, right?
He holds up the chains, and the chains haven't changed size just because he did. And I mean, they're gigantic links, and there's things carved all over them.
Can I use? I don't want to get near that thing, but I want to check it out. Like, is there a way I can do that?
You can make a perception check.
Oh,
First, we'll say perception to see how well you can see it, and then arcana to see if you know what it means.
28.
Yeah, so you can see the runes. Yep, and then give me a separate arcana.
Well, here we go. 17.
You know, these chains can only be unlocked by someone who is trying to act selflessly.
Cool. All right. I go down there.
When you come down, he looks at you and he's like, well, I would hate to offend. Would you prefer I keep on this face or my true form, or another that you might find fairer and more pleasing?
Look, man, here's the thing. This guy seems like he just got stuck in a bad deal. You look like you probably did some stuff, and like honestly, it looks like both of you guys have been here a real long time.
Yes, quite. I assure you that I have in fact performed a number of actions that perhaps the denizens of the prime material plane found unpleasing, but we must be what we are, right?
Well, here's the thing. All right. You and him, you guys kind of are stuck here, right? And if I undo this, you guys can both go and do your own thing.
So it would seem.
Cool. So here are the conditions, okay? Because like honestly, I don't have anything to gain. I made a new friend today. So I'm pretty cool with that if you are. All right? And I just feel that you, when I unlock these chains, need to go back to where you came from. All right?
Yes, of course.
No. I know how demons work, okay? Demon Lord, but you're not as cool as that guy.
Excuse me, that is a terrible generalization and hurtful at the same time, might I add. I assure you, you've never known a demon lord like me.
No, you're probably right. I've never seen one that shapeshifts and stuff.
Or maybe you have and just didn't know.
Actually, can I see your real form? Can I take a step back? Because now I'm curious. You piqued my interest,
He turns into similar to what he was before, but even bigger and even more terrifying. If he were 15 feet before, he's almost 25 now, but you can see the chains actually like hurt a bit, which is why he's smaller. And he is a massive hulking thing with like bits of fire pouring out of his mouth in like inky black eyes, and his antlers reach almost to the top of the hole, but not quite.
Well, now you're up there, aren't you?
Yes. I just didn't want to frighten you.
Nah, it takes a lot. That guy scared the poop out of me. Like there's literally like a patty out there. You know, you're all right.
He looks up at the Draco Lich that like looks right back at him, and he's like, the eyes are just like their eyes meet, like both of them like would be fine to throw right now. And he's like, I suppose I can see the appeal.
I mean, obviously he's the more powerful one out of you two. You know what I mean? Like he is the one that isn't shackled up and he's the one guarding you. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like you are so like cute, you know, you got the little fire dripping. I can see how people would think that that's scary, but you know, I mean, he was chosen to guard you, so I'm assuming he's way more powerful than you, even though you are a demon lord, sir.
He turns back right in front of you to a humanoid that is roughly the same size as you, that is vaguely purple, with a thick bony ridge over his eyes that goes up to horns that point right over his head that are thickly muscled. I mean, his whole body is thickly muscled. The horns aren't thickly muscled. No, he could have yoke horns, sure. And he just looks at you and he's like, just so. I admit you have me at a disadvantage, as does my captor. But perhaps I can offer you something in return.
Oh, I don't want anything.
Everyone wants something.
No.
Then I give you my word as a Lord of Avernus that should you release me, I will depart forthwith, causing no harm to you or our associate here.
Forthwith. I turn to Mr. X, the undying overlord of all. I don't know what that word means. Could you please explain that to me, sir?
He means he'll leave immediately.
Is that immediately after he destroys the city, or is that like now, like as soon as I undo this?
Oh, you wish I don't rain devastation on Rashamine?
No, I didn't say that. I mean, you're free to do whatever you want. I just want to make sure, you know, that like, you know, I'm dumb. That's it, you know? Like obviously, like I need the guidance of people like you and, you know, mostly my friend Mr. X here cuz he seems like he has this whole like life thing down packed. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a way to interpret it, I suppose. Yes.
What? And so I kind of take a step back and I look at Mr. X and I go, I am so sorry. I'm an idiot. Like to think that like, oh my God, I'm sorry. He thinks so little of you. So I'm basically trying to pit these two against each other. That's what I'm doing. Right. I was like, you know what? There's enough of this. You have given me your word as an overlord person or kind of lord demon thing of Avernus, and you, sir, are my new friend, and you were really fun and really cool to talk to, like. And so I want to I don't even know how to do this or if I can. I know he's a
Mhm.
Dracolich and he's probably like really, really smart. Is
Mhm.
in like he could probably read my thoughts as they go on. Like, would that be a thing
I
I
mean,
could?
you don't know what is it that you're trying to accomplish here?
I just really hope this guy doesn't try to attack my new friend.
Ah, that is your goal. Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know? And so it's like I really hope this guy isn't trying to attack my new friend. Like, you know, I
I
know he
mean,
told
he
him.
said he wouldn't. That's all you know.
"N- Okay, he just said no harm would come to me, you know. And he was like, and that associate over there, but he's not an associate, he's my friend. All right, let's let hopefully let's let chaos rain down.
Mm-hmm.
I open the
You,
shadow.
as you look at them, when you put your hands on them, they seem just like heavy, but you don't even see like a keyhole. And you just pull a little bit and clink, clink comes right off. And he goes, and he grows to his full height again and turns back into that creature and opens his hand, and a long, jagged black greatsword appears in his hand, and he rests it on his shoulder. And he looks up at uh
Mr. X.
Zevarathimius, and he's like, what say you, jailer? Do you intend to halt my departure? And he looks down at him and says, you cannot depart that hole. As long as you don't, I will not enter it. And he like sort of looks up and he looks back down at you, Muvira,
Mm-hmm.
and he turns back into that Minotaur. And he's like, could I interest you in a little trip to the underworld? I've been away for some time, and I'm sure my affairs will need to be put in order, but I have not insignificant holdings in Avernus. I'm sure you would have a wonderful time there. I would even allow him to accompany us, were it either of your wills.
I look up to Mr. X, the Undying, and I was like, well, I mean, I thought we had plans previously, but it's up to you, Mr. X, whatever you guys want to do.
Give me your perception check.
I get advantage on that.
Mm-hmm.
19 plus. Sorry, my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
19 plus a whole bunch. 30?
Yeah.
So 30 is enough to do an impossible task. You hear the people from the White Sails making their way through the forest coming this way.
Excuse me, guys, just really quick. And I walk out to the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'll just be right back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I go out, hey guys, I made 2 new friends and they're so cool. You guys should probably leave though.
What you mean, new friends? We ain't seen no dragon corpse in here.
Well, like, that's because, like, first off, he's not a corpse. That is Mr. X, the Undying, Overlord of all. And then there's another really cool dude in there too. He's a demon overlord, and he's like one of the lords of Avernus. It was really cool. They're both really nice of you. Like, I feel like they might hurt you guys because you guys aren't very cool and you guys are kind of a little needy. Like, especially you. You are super clingy all the time. Like, I understand that you want all of this, but you can't have none of it, okay?
And you see, they all look at you like they're confused, and they all start to take a step back, except the captain. The bugbear stands there. And behind you, you feel the ground shake as the undying worm is coming forward behind you, and they're all throwing it in the back wide-eyed and terrified. And like,
Yeah.
Mavera, turn around. He's behind you. Oh, hide.
Oh,
Save
who's
yourself.
that? Oh, what's up, Mr. X? This is that bugbear dude I was talking about. He told me to come here and try to like steal from you, but like you ended up being way cooler than this guy. Like, and you're actually someone that actually hasn't tried to hit on me within like 2 seconds of me meeting you. So yeah, this is my friend Mr. X, the undying overlord of all. So you guys should probably bow down now or leave before he might hurt you. I mean, it's up to you. Like, I don't mind Mr. X. Like,
the bugbear just points and goes, forward. And you
oh
see
no.
Karamathias.
Huh?
He just goes, and you see a purplish fog rolls out over all of them, and they just freeze in place, paralyzed. He's like, I have spared their lives, unless you wish I don't. And you can see their eyes are like,
I mean, like, I feel like they learned their lesson, to be honest with you, Mr. X. Like, so let them go run away and spread more tales of the terror that they experience here. Because obviously, like I told you before, you really need to let more people know who you are and what you can do.
He turns and he looks at you and he's like, I do not wish to visit Avernus. My place is here, recovering my hoard. But if you wish to travel with the Demon Lord and see the wonders of the underworld, I will not be offended.
Aww. Well, I just thought we were going to be real good friends and stuff, you know? Like, I feel like you're breaking up with me.
You are welcome to accompany me if you so choose. It has been some time since I've had one I would call a friend.
You know what? Let that demon guy do whatever he wants. If he wants us, he can come and take both of us together when you're all like super duper, like you're already super duper duper strong. But like, you know, when you're where you want to be, then we'll go and maybe we'll show them a thing or two about being, you know, you, Mr. X, overlord of all, the undying, you know, and Muvera. I'm just kind of here.
You, Muvera, hear Eltab's voice inside of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, my dear, I feel like our business is concluded. I did give my word that I would depart without harming you or my erstwhile jailer. Although, I realize you did say you have to be careful in making deals with demons. I said I would leave without hurting you. I did not say I would not hurt you upon my return. And you see a large column of flame erupt out of the hole that burns a hole through the woods up into the sky, and he is gone.
Oh man, I lost another friend. And I would like to wave to him. Well, I'll see you next time.
The Zeverathemius looks at you and he extends a wing downward for you to climb on again.
Cool. Where are we going, Mr. X? Everlasting, undying, overlord of all. You see that demon run away from you?
He gives you that same crooked, fangy smile again, and he says, we shall go, seeking what was taken from me. And his wings come out and starts to lift off. And again, you see the white salespeople like kind of like looking up at you with terror as he like lifts off and flies up through the air. and it turns heading towards the bay where the boat is moored. And as he's flying by, erupts with this thick black breath of pure shadowy oblivion that just smashes into the ship and destroys it as he like flies out over the ocean. And that is where we will stop.
Yeah! Yeah!
Muvera got her dragon ride.
Muvera got her dragon ride and didn't have to swing a single weapon.
Let me tell you something. If you hadn't crit on that persuasion, it was about to go down because he's like, well, okay. Blah. Claw bite. Yeah, no, that was clutch. That was clutch. Clutch. Yep.
I feel like I need to come back and do another one of these just to see what happens now. Muvera.
So what I'm thinking, what I want to do when all of these are done, I bring back all the vampire people and bring back all the D&D people and do like a one shot with all of your characters together. So I think when this is all said and done, we're probably gonna do. I hope, you know, if it works out, people's schedules and stuff. Hope we're gonna do one more.
I love it. I need more Muvera and Mr. X in my life.
You know what? This like making friends with the terrible people has come up a lot. I guess it's a through line in the people that I know and I like. That I'm like, here's someone terrible, and you're like, but are they? And I'm like, yeah, they are. And it's like, but are they?
I want to tell like everyone at home, like, and obviously, I hope you post my character stats so they know, like, I am not smart. Like, well, I'm not wise. I have no wisdom, and I take a negative to like my wisdom checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, mind you guys, I'm playing this character role playing, right? And so my character also is not afraid of dying. So I would not be afraid of like the demon lord because I'm gonna come back tomorrow, you know?
It all worked out. Now, I know QueueTimes has another show on after us. They got Court of Corvids, so stick around for Court of Corvids. So we're going to get out of here so we don't hold them up. But again, Ember, where can they find you? What's on the Twitters? What's on the Twitches?
You can find me on Twitter at WWE Ember Moon, on Instagram at WWE_Ember Moon, and on Twitch at Half Dragon EM. Obviously, if you haven't figured it out, I love dragons.
It all works out. Thank you, ma'am, for playing with us here, and we cannot wait to see more of Muvera. And I'll see y'all next week. I think for you next week is James Introcaso. I think. Do not quote me on that if it's not James Introcaso, because if it's not him, then it's the week after. But it's soon. No, not James Introcaso. Not James Introcaso. Joey Hake. Joey Hake is next week. Joey Hake. Yes. So we'll be here, probably D&D, maybe Vampire. Even I don't know. You're going to know when I know. So we'll see y'all then. Bye.